Fastcart caught that today. It pops up on the Twitch thing when you bring it up. Birthday. Here we go.
This is Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty.
And greetings. Welcome back to Soul Citizens. I am GriffinGamingRPG, and thank you for being here with us. Today is April the 14th, second weekend of April, and we are back with a really great show for you today. And I am joined by two of my compadres, my friends, very cool people that are part of the Soul Citizens stream team. We have with us today on my left and your right, yoyoMeg. Yo, what's up?
What's up? How are y'all?
She's nice and chill today, y'all. If I say double dog, she'll get excited. All right, I gotta say double dog to get her pumped up. All right, you doing good? That's great. What's your background? What is that?
It's what is that paint called? It's that subscriber blue on the STV.
And the STV
in the back on Daymar.
Look at you. All right. I'm digging it. Daymar. Okay. Daymar. All right. And also joining me today is Fastcart FC. What's up, my brother?
Hey, I'm Fastcart, also FC, and I'm glad to be here once again. Episode 200. Yay,
200th episode, you guys. Today is our 200th episode of our Sunday show. And you guys are here. You've been helping us celebrate this. And man, we couldn't have done it without you. It was kind of interesting too. Fastcart mentioned earlier, which I did not know, that this was also the same day that we became affiliates with Twitch. And so we have a double celebration going, just like Double Dogs, Meg. We got double celebration going on. Yeah, it's our 200th episode. Now, mind you, it's not 200 episodes altogether, gang. It's for the Sunday show. This has always been our very first show that we started with back in 2020. We started this back in March of that year, about a week or two after COVID was declared, and we've been going at it since then.
First week of March.
Yeah, and so you guys have helped us reach that. Yeah, go ahead.
So we got like 400 shows almost altogether.
Oh my God, no, it's more than that. I think between the two other shows, because we've had this show, right? Then we had Friday Night Live, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then we had the Thursday night Soul Talk, and then we had Soul Voices. And I think Soul Voices just did its 74th episode last week. Your show on Thursday's done 100 and something shows, 141. And then we've got the Friday Night Live show. So we're probably closer to 500 shows by now, which is kind of scary. But
that's a lot of talking.
It's a lot of talking. It is a lot of talking. But we could not have done all this talking without you guys listening. So we really, really appreciate all the support that you guys have given us. And as you guys can see, Thrakazog, thank you so much. Oh, Meg, look, he hooked you up, Meg. Okay.
Thank you, Thrakazog.
We could not have done this without you guys. And so today we are going to do some really fun giveaways that we hope you guys will be able to jump in on and grab. As you guys know, we've been in this midst of testing 3.23. And one of the big things that people are looking forward to are hangers, having their own home finally, moving out of those habs and having your own place. And so one of the things that we want to be able to do for you guys today is give you some things to put in your hangers so that you can start personalizing those hangers the way you want them. Some of you actually may own multiple accounts, and so you may want to have 2 and 3 of items. So we're going to give away some of those items today just for fun today, and hopefully you guys will be able to join in that. And we'll have a special mystery gift at the end of the stream today, which I think you guys will be interested in. Let's see. Let's talk about today. Our topic today is called Odd Jobs. Fastcart, let me ask you a quick. Watch this, Meg. Fastcart, when you hear the phrase, the term odd job, what comes to mind?
James Bond.
How did I know he was going to say that? How did I know he was going to say that? I knew he was going to go back on the clock and talk about something that nobody would know about. Okay, maybe some people in chat know what Fastcart's talking about, but from the movie Goldfinger, and Mr.
I couldn't remember the movie. I just remember the
Yep. And Odd Job was the guy that had the bowler hat that had the blade around it. You know, it was pretty cool. See, Meg, I know him all too well. Okay, say something like that.
The thing is, I didn't think about it until you asked me just now. It didn't occur to me.
Meg, let me tell you something. Right next to Fastcart's cart is Fastcart's time machine, and he jumps in that anytime you ask him a question. He's got to go back in time somewhere and pull it out. So
you could see the squiggly lines.
Oh yeah,
as you asked me, because I went back. You saw them.
I know. I got that big old graphic in the middle of the screen, Meg, and he decides to go back to James Bond, 1976. Okay, so all right, so let's talk about Odd Jobs. Odd Jobs is going to be what we're going to be doing tonight is talking about these different roles and stuff in Star Citizen that maybe some of us have not thought about or haven't given consideration to, or maybe we've thought about them, but we've kind of not really given much thought to them because we kind of think that, who's going to want to do that? Or, I'll get to that when we get into the game. But we really want people to start thinking about some of these positions that will happen in Star Citizen. A lot of times, Meg, what's the most popular stuff that you hear people talking about they want to do in Star Citizen? Most of the time when you talk to people, what's the things that people talk about to you?
Data running,
okay,
bounties, just like merc stuff, just the normal stuff.
Normal stuff
we already have now.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say normal stuff because that is kind of what people normally think of, right, in games like this, right? But then at the same time, kind of Star Citizen can kind of throw us off by being kind of abnormal. You know what I mean? Captain Serious Fun, thank you so much for those bits you gave us. Thank you, we appreciate that. Oh. Look who came out.
By the way, say hi to your brother, Super Fun, for me. Okay, thank you.
So thank you so much for those bits. We appreciate it. And thanks for the congrats on our 200th episode, gang. We really appreciate it. Fastcart, what about you? What are some things that, you hear people talk about when they say there's people say, when Star Citizen comes out, I want to blank. What do you kind of hear people talking about?
I mean, the most recent thing is the janitorial thing. We'll get to that in a moment. But bounty hunting, exploration.
Yeah.
Some people say combat, but those.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Most of the things that you hear people, at least for me, most of the people I hear people talk about things are often ship related, which I'm not saying that these items that we're going to be talking about are ship related, but a lot of them the ship is like the main conduit for whatever it is they want to do. So like you said, if it's exploration, if it's bounty hunting, somewhere or other sides. And that may be because that's what we have in our hands right now, right? We don't have farms in our hands, so nobody's talking about farming. But it is interesting to hear these different things that people will talk about. Meg, I'm gonna come back to you. looking for work. Do you think that in the game you'll be looking to work, or do you think you'll be looking to hire? Which one do you think is going to be where you are in the game? Are you going to hire people to do things, or are you going to be like, let me go out here and hit the pavement and, you know, make my money off other folk?
I think a little bit of both, just because I am trying to get like my org to be like an actual organization, and as we get Pyro and more things added to the game, roles are actually going to matter. When there's consistency and people consistently playing, it's not like a forced like role play type scenario, but more just I can't think of the term to use, but instead of being like what ship are we taking, what are we doing, and spending 30 minutes trying to figure that stuff out, people know like, okay, we're doing this today, so we need people in this role with this ship, these ships, these kits, just stuff like that. So I feel like I want to be working, but also I wouldn't mind being the person tasking people. So I feel like a little bit of both. That answers your question.
It does. Yesterday, FC, we did a show on Voices called We Haven't Been Playing Star Citizen Yet. And the idea of that is that we've been playing Star Citizen, but we've been playing with elements of Star Citizen, pieces of Star Citizen. You know, whether it goes back to the old days when we had a social module and a arena commander. But oh my God, Alyciana, thank you so much. Thank you. Shout out to Alyciana. Yeah, Alyciana. Wow, you guys don't know, Alyciana has been around the community for a long time. One of the first content creators I ever listened to. African-American woman that was putting that out there before any of us were. And so we are so happy to hear you. Hope you're doing well. And thanks for being here for our 200th episode. So thank you. You guys make sure you check out Alyciana, and she's got some great lore stuff. Great lore stuff. I know she's gonna be mad because she say, Griff, that stuff's old, but it's good stuff. So you guys check out Alyciana. So I forgot what I was saying. I was saying something to Fastcart. What was I saying to you, Fastcart? You don't even remember what I was saying to you, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Alyciana just threw me off.
I know. Alyciana threw me off too. I know.
You asked Meg about
I know what I asked her about hire for work for hire. I was talking work for hire for her, and then I came to you. What was I saying, y'all? I got so thrown off by Alyciana. What was I saying? I can't even remember. That's terrible, Alyciana. You done messed my brain up, but I couldn't even think of what I was saying. All right, but okay.
Hey, she's been doing it for almost a decade now.
I know. Okay, I was talking about work for hire and people coming.
Talking about yesterday's show.
Yeah. Okay, and I was talking about the game that we're only playing the game in pieces, right? We don't have everything in Chris Roberts' vision. Because of that, do you think that maybe that's the reason why people maybe not haven't given consider to certain roles? In other words, they've only thought about the roles that we actually have, but maybe not thought about the impact of other roles.
Yes, I agree. Especially people. A lot of people are waiting for exploration, and there is some elements of exploration, but I don't think it's like the full gameplay of what CID has in mind for exploration. I mean, because we can go to planets, we can go to moons, and just look around and stuff like that, but there's not really well, I guess there's some money making aspect to it, but I don't think it's fully developed.
Okay.
And we all want to go back and get Test the Bannister back because people have this going off into different time raids, and that was a form of exploration in my opinion. But yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick test with you guys, just to give you guys an idea of talking about jobs. Okay, so y'all get ready because I'm gonna ask you a question. This came up as a real conversation that I had with somebody, and this was back when we were doing the Idris mission when that came up. And so this person was really excited. I think they got a chance to see the Idris. I don't know if they went through the whole ship. I think they did, but they were just so excited after doing the dynamic mission with the Idris. And my question to them was, they said, this is what they said. They said, when I get my Idris, I'm going to go out with about 6 of my friends and we're going to do blah, 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 blah. And so my question was like, you're what? And they said, my 6 friends. So my question to you guys is, how many people do you think you will take out on an Idris on a mission? And anybody can put their numbers in chat. Y'all start putting numbers in chat right now. How many people, and some of you all got a chance to go on the Idris. You guys have seen the Idris. Some of y'all got to float around in there. Some of y'all just watch videos. But just put down how many people you think you're going to put in. Okay, Captain Serious Fun's hitting me with 12. Yeah, I know it's a org ship, mobster, but how many people? Your org could be just 6 people. Tell me how many people you want. Togi says 12 plus. Shimpasta 10. Wow. Mobster 20. Wow. Fastcart ain't got one. Okay, got you. All right, 27. Oh man, Stunner 27. Stunner's going all the way to the max. The max is 28. He's pushing his all the way. Solari 5 or 6. Okay, Devastator. Okay, you guys.
Devastator at 12 NPCs.
12 NPCs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll see when that happens.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. No, it's a fair answer. Okay, so let me tell you what happened when we were having this conversation. 15 plus for Captain Jones. Okay, to be in combat effective. Okay, so as we were having this conversation with the person was very excited about the Idris. And I said, well, how many guns? How many turrets? And I think the number came up to like 8. So right away, his number of 6 was not good, right? Because I said, if you're taking the Idris out, unless you just want to go joyride and take a risk of losing it, if you're going out to go do something, how many do you need? So it started out with moving from 6 to 8. And then I said, well, how many people are you going to have, Meg, in the cockpit? And then he said, well, 2 people. I'm going to have a pilot and a captain. I said, okay, but you're not going to have anybody working the engineering station or a navigator or anything. He says, well, okay, yeah, I'll have 2 engineers. I said, well, where are your engineers going to be? He said, well, they're both going to be in the back. I said, well, who's operating the engineering station so you can monitor life support and tell when components are wearing down, or tell the other guy I'll have the other person come up front. Okay, so now we're at 8 gunners, a pilot, a captain, 2 engineers. So that's put us at 12 people now, and he started at 6. So then I said, well, what happens if you go into combat and a fire starts or something? And, we started naming other things. And by the time he got through, he realized he was closer to the number of 16. He had not thought about all these little side things. He thought about turret people and a pilot, but there was all this other stuff. There was maintenance, right? And so who's loading things? Who's maybe need to go down the cargo? So there's a lot of dynamics here that people may not be thinking about. Thank you, Socially Confused. We didn't even get to pilots, right? Who's flying your ship? Hopefully you've got a couple, Gladiuses or something in that hangar. So we want people to start thinking about this game in the sense of logistics, but also leave room for people who may want to do these certain type of jobs. But we're going to talk about odd jobs today because piloting and stuff like that is big. Go ahead, Fastcart.
And leave it to Griffin. Like, CID trying to sell ship. Griffin's the one trying to say this is why this ship may not be for you.
or at least you better be aware of what you're getting into. That's probably a bigger thing for what it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to start hitting these topics, y'all, so you guys can, because some of these topics make sense, and some of them you're going to be like, okay, Griff, I hadn't thought about that. Okay, so let's get to some of these very first ones here. First topic. Escorts. Meg, why don't you read that one for us, please?
The escort service tasks the player with escorting the player who created the contract to whatever location they need to go for a price that they set. It may also require someone to be of a certain contract rating to accept the contract. Okay.
FC, you're going to be doing that Banu Merchantman. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, the Banu Merchantman is a pretty sturdy ship, pretty hefty ship, pretty much well, protected in the sense of its scale and everything. But for you, escorts, is that something you're going to be thinking about?
It's going to be something I'm thinking about, but I had to wrap my brain around your answer because I would think about a different version of escort. But we're going to need some protection, maybe some people to help with the logistics and moving stuff around, but like having a whole area around stuff like that to load and unload, load and unload cargo. Both inside and outside are going to do those kind of services.
So take a wild guess right now. If you're hauling something pretty important in your Banu Merchantman, how many escorts do you think you would want to have with you?
Ooh, depends on where you're going and how much money
you got some. You've got some fairly. You've got some.
You don't want to make it.
Well, you're always going to want to make a profit. My question is, you've got a decent load. And it's a load that justifies you taking a Banu Merchantman now, because there's a lot of other ships you could take out, but you've decided to take your crown jewel of trade ships out. What are you looking at for escorts?
Ooh, 6 to 12 fighters and some.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're taking an armada. Okay.
yeah, basically. It depends.
You shipping-
It's my management. I'm waiting for all this time. I'm gonna have some protection.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I have to.
Like I said, I got to make sure it's profitable because I am going to pay people and I want them to come back.
Yeah.
To protect me on the way back too.
well, Socially Confused said that you should bring an Idris as your escort. And and Jamurk says, load the crown jewels. Yeah, I know. I've got to say it that way because I have to please Fastcart's brain about the Banu Merchantman to call it the crown jewel. Okay. Meg, what about you? Are you thinking about being someone who will escort people to help them out in your org, or are you guys talked about that in your group with your team of folk? Or are you doing it?
I know a lot of people are excited for that in terms of like the E1. And other ships like that. But no, unless it's like required for transporting like specific cargo for missions.
Okay.
I mean, it's something I'd definitely do in the future.
Okay.
I think it sounds silly, but it would be really cool to transport things like double dogs from Stanton over to Pyro, and then FS9s or something from Pyro back to,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so
like
would you
trade. So
would you be for hire? I'm saying, like, if I said, I got to move some stuff from Pyro to here, would you be that type of person? Say, hey, pay me, and I'll get in my fighter and protect you. Is that something you think you would do?
I would, yeah.
You would, okay.
We talked about extensively, but that'd be super fun.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so escorting, again, that can happen in a lot of different ways. You could either be the escort to escort someone's ship, or you need escorts. And I think that there are going to be definite scenarios where people are going to need escorts. And that's going to have to be something we all factor into our dollars when we're doing stuff. All right, let's take a look at the next one here. Harvesting. Fastcart, could you read that one? I gave you a real tough one. Go ahead. You read that one.
Okay, harvesting. So flora, you got cavice, opera, mushroom, acacia tree. Fauna, you have copian, martok, whip crab, and the abominable snowman. I can't think of his name right now. Edibles, you got loon, patambu, and golden medmine.
Yeah, and those are all just examples, right? We know there's a whole lot more stuff on the list, but there is this dynamic of harvesting. Fastcart, I'm gonna go to you on this one. What are some of the reasons why? I mean, other than edibles, and I'm not gonna even say that, because what would be the reason why you'd have to harvest this stuff? Give us some gamified reasons why this is going to be important in the game.
Well, in other games, you would harvest for like leather, skin to make armor and stuff like that. Plantation for food. Some of the stuff may make good fertilizer.
Did you say plantation on this show?
I'm stuck on yesterday's show. I'm sorry. I'm stuck on yesterday's show. But yeah, that's a slip up on my end. That's a slip up. At least it's not Black History Month anymore. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Other examples. I said armor. The notes are plenty. I think for most people.
Yeah. In fact, the for the guys that know this, in the 323, the two first fauna that we've gotten have harvestables on them, and they've told us that the harvestables, I think one of them's for medicine and one of them for something else. So to your point, Fastcart, crafting, right, is pretty much that category where these things can come in. What about the food though? What do you think there'll be reasons for? Will there be, do you think they'll be harvesting on a big scale, or will it just be for us to eat? In other words, will farms actually maybe have to be harvested so that you can sell? What's the point of having a farm if you're not able to sell what you're growing, right? Do you think that will be a thing where there'll actually be a mode where you harvest stuff and then you take it and sell it somewhere?
See, I'm trying to balance between, because if you're going to farm like that, you're going to want protection for the farm, because people are just going to try to burn it down just for the heck of it.
I don't know. Why does everybody have this doom and gloom aspect of when somebody does something, somebody's going to come in and bomb it? I mean,
you've been living the past 60 years.
No. I played games where there were farms and people did not come burn down my apple trees. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it won't happen, but you went there, and I'm trying to deal with how do you harvest. I don't want to talk about the protection side of it. I want to talk about, is there a reason to harvest? Do you think the CIG will make that something? Because what's the point of growing farms if you can't gather the stuff in some form and sell it?
I'm
think
sure
so.
there'll be some aspects where some planets may have like a shortage or a need for different foods and stuff like that. So
Okay.
there'll be emergency need to bring certain items or food from one place to another. So
Yeah.
I think that may be a good aspect.
Yeah. I'm hoping, Meg, that they'll come up with things where you'll get missions like that will say, we need you to deliver, 2,000 units of patumbas. You know what I mean? And I go to Meg's farm, and that's what Meg does. That's what she says. She grows that stuff, right? Or she hires me and says, Griff, I don't have a whole bee, but I need you to come here and we'll load this stuff up, and you pick it up and take it, right? I mean, I see some possibilities. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. But again, if they are going to have farming, the whole point of farming is mass producing stuff. Maybe you got to move the space cows. I don't know. Blackwater Goat, thank you so much for that. We truly appreciate those bits. Thank you. Okay, let's move on.
And we did get clipped when I said plantation.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure somebody got it. All right, let's see. We've got one more to do, right? Chewed, thank you. Oh, for the 5 community subs. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you guys for another 5 community subs. Thank you. You guys give some love to Chew and Luciana for that. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Let's talk about this one. Loadmaster. A skilled loadmaster can load your ship in a way that will maximize your cargo space while minimizing the change of your ship's center of gravity. We don't know just yet whether center of gravity is going to be a factor completely in Star Citizen. We do know that they've talked about gravity and weight being a factor, but what we're talking about is when you put stuff in the ship, it needs to be balanced. You put too much toward one end, it's too heavy in the front. Put too much toward the back, it's too heavy in the back. I don't know. Have either of you guys ever tried to load a ship up and people put the boxes in all kind of crazy? Have you guys ever done that?
The reclaimer.
Not me.
You did, yeah. And what happened? Tell me what happened when you guys did it. Yo, what happened when you guys were loading it up and they were putting the boxes in crazy?
They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen both sides though.
Right.
Like, just throw them because you can sell them and it doesn't matter.
Right.
And I've seen people actually maximize the grid.
Yeah.
And the below the cargo area of the reclaimer, and they're popping out the specific sizes that fit in those spaces.
Yeah.
And then we throw everything everywhere.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No, yeah. That part is fun as heck. Same with we all know when the Weevil eggs were going crazy with ERTs, maximizing like the C2, because you would just keep going around and around and around, and just you'd have we didn't find Weevil eggs this time. Let's get what we think is like worth it, and then continue on to the next one, and still be unlucky, and then get like a good load, and then we know what we're getting rid of because it's in a spot that isn't in the middle of everything.
Right.
So just stuff like that, yeah. Definitely done that.
So let me give you guys some scenarios for why Loadmaster is important. Other than weight, let's not even get into the weight and balancing side of it. But here's the other reason why, because Meg said something that's really important. She said she saw when people actually took the time to literally put everything in the right place. And it's not because of OCD. It is because you maximize your space. You may find out that the person who organizes all your stuff can put in $3 million worth of stuff, versus the person who just scatters boxes, it puts in $2.3 million worth of stuff. You may find out because things weren't stacked right, even though it was a full room, you lost out on $750,000 just because somebody didn't want to stack it right. Now, loadmasters, and that's they could be the person that's doing it, but they could also be the person that just makes sure that things are loaded correctly. And depending on your operation, to your point, Meg, yeah, you can send 2 people downstairs or 1 person down to the reclaimer, area to do boxes. But believe it or not, maybe having that 3rd person down there who literally is making sure that boxes are stacked right. That's all they do. They're not pulling it out of the machine. They're just making sure that stuff is stacking right. It might be worth having that person for that extra $700,000 you made. You know what I mean? And you pay that person $100,000, and it was well worth it because you walked away with additional $600,000. But if you want to be cheap and lazy, or if you want to have those people who are downstairs that don't care, all they care about is getting paid, and you're the owner, you may find out that you lost out just because y'all didn't take the time to do the right thing. This is an important position. Yeah, go ahead.
And on the reverse side, you have some mission like Xenothreat, where you try to do everything as quick as possible when you're trying to get the supplies from there to the address.
Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's some cases where you don't have the luxury of time, but then there's times when people just don't think about what's the impact of not doing something within a certain time frame, right? And so even in that scenario, now that you're talking a segment, even in that scenario, fastcart, having the right amount of people can also make the difference even then. Because sometimes if you don't have enough people, you have to do it that way because you didn't bring enough folk. Go ahead, Meg.
Right.
I was going to say, with talking about Xenothreat and the specific cargo that you're messing with, it could be very extreme. Actually, it is extremely beneficial to have at least somebody who understands, because there could be a bunch of new people who don't really understand what you're doing at that event. And all cargo is seemingly the same if you don't read the instructions or know what things look like. So having the load master who knows, okay, this ship, we need to put Zelo Protonite or whatever it's called, you know, like this ship's not gonna quantum. This ship needs to be careful and not slam down. Not slam down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not slam down.
Thank you, prisoner. That's why we love our people. I will make that correction. Our calendar still says our old start time. So just letting us know to make sure we change that. So I will do that. Thank you so much for catching that. So many things to remember. I'm getting old. I forgot. Okay. All right. That's the load master. Let's shift from load master now to the cargo. Okay. Meg, why don't you hit that one for us? Or is it time for a giveaway? Is it time for a giveaway?
No, that's next.
Next. Okay. Gotcha.
After that.
Every container in Star Citizen will allow it to be manipulated directly using an array of anti-grav pulsars. Players will load their containers or acquire them preloaded and then position them aboard or attached to their spacecraft.
Okay. So the odd job here, and this is something that we have in the game a little bit right now, is loading and unloading items, like whoever's doing that. The load master is the person that oversees it or makes sure that it's done right. But then you still have to have the folks that physically do the labor of loading things in and out, whether that's loading vehicles, whether it's loading cargo, whatever it is. FC, I'm gonna go to you on this because you're the Banu merchantman person. What are your thoughts on a cargo loader, like people who are going to be doing that? How are you going to bring people in and do it? I mean, you're one person. I mean, you could one person do it, but what is the plan you see in this? Because the freaking Banu merchantman's got a huge cargo area. What are your thoughts on how you're going to manage that?
And this goes back to say how efficient you want to be. Would you rather have your station do it and maybe cost more money, but take more time? I'm sorry, take less money but take more time. Or would you rather have a person do it, or maybe an NPC do it? They cost more money but take less time. So everything is time and money. So I'm leaning towards having the station do it and take more time and plan according in this way, because you never know if the other person is going to try to undercut you or skim off the top. You never know, something like that. It's NPC or PC. So I'll probably have the station do it and maximize my profits that way.
Okay.
Me personally.
Okay. Let me give you a scenario. CIG implied that also when you have a station do it, you may have to wait in line because maybe there are 2 or 3 other people in front of you. Maybe there's a person in front of you with a whole E that needs to be loaded. And they're telling you 16 hours or 12 hours or 4 hours. You going to hang with that still, or are you going to modify your plan?
I am hoping that CIG, by the time this thing comes out, CIG will have a way of looking at our Mobi-Glass and see what station has what schedule. Like, you're able to pop it in Mobi-Glass and say, okay, I only have to wait an hour at this station, but I won't have to wait 12 hours at the other station. Because it would suck if you get there and you have to wait like 16 hours and then try to find another station. But so I'm hoping CIG will supply that for us.
I'm messing with you a little bit. That sounds great. But every station don't want what you have. And if that station is the station that you got to go to sell it because that's the best price for it, are you saying you're willing to go to another station and make less money?
I mean,
it depends on the circumstance. Most likely not. Most likely I will wait for 12 hours.
Most likely you're going to be down in the bar. You're going to be down in M&V in the bar drinking for a while is what it sounds like to me. But okay, I'm just curious. What were you going to say, Meg?
Nah, a bunch of different things.
Go ahead.
No, I definitely feel like I would try to hire a bunch of people just because realistically I could see them auto loading
Mm-hmm.
taking forever. I'm not gonna lie, I hope
Mm-hmm.
it does.
Mm-hmm.
Or it would cost, maybe you can like change it, like you can pay more for it to be faster auto loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Because we tried to take cargo from a C2 and put it on a whole C,
Uh-huh.
and we got it 30% full.
Mm-hmm.
It took us an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Could not imagine
Yeah.
the whole E.
Yeah.
So those times might sound ridiculous, but they're not.
Uh-huh.
It needs to be that long.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
This is, now mind you, this is before we got the 4 SU and the 2 SU and 8 SU boxes, right? One of our friends, God bless his heart, he's gone now, but he had put 162 of those 8th box SCUs, you know, the small ones you can carry. He had 162 of them on a C2. Plus he had 2 vehicles in there. Okay. And he wanted to get them out of there because he was having problems. So I brought a Taurus to try to move them out of the Taurus, you know, from the C2 to the Taurus. It took us 2.5 hours to move those boxes. Okay. And so I was like, the sun was up when we started. It was night when we got through. Okay. Now,
you mean in game or
right? No, in the game. I mean, the sun was freaking out. Okay. So, and my point is, to your point, Meg, this is when we had those 1/8 boxes, right?
Right.
So right now we do have the luxury of having a 32 SU box, but it doesn't mean that always your cargo is going to be that. You may have some boxes that are 4 SCU, 2 SCU. It's not like you can, because like, for example, you may be able to average and say, I can put these many 32 SCU boxes on and be done in 15 minutes. But all you got to do is throw a couple of 8s in there or 16s or whatever, and all of a sudden those numbers start to increase, right? So I think your point is really good, Meg, with the fact that hopefully they will have a scale that says if you want to have the job done faster, you got to pay some extra bucks for it. I wonder whether or not one of the odd jobs will be that there will be people who hang out that put like on a job board that you need people to hire to load up your ship. Yeah. They'll do it. You know, I don't know. I'm just curious as to loading, you know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I know this is all like, we're all like just speculating or whatever, like making things up, but maybe if you do have to wait in line, what if there wasn't a line and there were more NPCs that could load and that could bump up the time and be an option to pay more?
Yeah.
And then if you're in line, there's less people, so it takes longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying random stuff, but
no, it's not random.
Seriously interesting to think about.
It's not that random because right now I do whole C runs. A whole C takes 4 minutes and 50 seconds to load. That's just a placeholder, y'all. That ain't real. Okay. It's not real. You ain't loading 4,096 units of material in 4 minutes. It's not going to happen. So to your point, Meg, we really have to think about the scale of your ship. You know, how many boxes you put in them. A hull A and a hull B may not be a big deal, but a hull C or a D or an E, you know. So y'all be thinking about that, you know, them odd jobs that might be dismissive, but there are some people who will be able to know how to do that stuff fast, and other people, they'll jack you around and make you have a long day. All right, let's move on to this next one.
Giveaway.
It's time for the giveaway. That's right. It's time for a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. Giveaway. I wasn't ready to do the giveaway because I was sitting here so busy talking.
Subscription, Captain Jones. I didn't hear the thing go off.
It did go off. Yeah, it did. Oh man, 5 community subs. Thank you, Cap. We truly appreciate that. You know what? Let's do the next one, and I'm gonna get the thing ready, and I'll do it after that because I wasn't ready. I was so busy caught up in our conversation that I forgot to set up the doggone giveaway. So let's go ahead and go to that, which is this one. Who was next reading? Was it fastcart or yoyoMeg?
I think it's me. Yeah, I think it's me.
Thank you, Chooch. 100 bits. We appreciate it.
Chooch.
Go ahead, FC.
Oh yeah, it's co-pilot, navigator, assisting the pilot with navigation, power shield management, weapon systems, landing systems, etc.
Meg, let's talk about piloting right now. And what do you think a co-pilot could be doing in the game? We just mentioned some of those things, but
oh my goodness.
Oh, you got this one. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, setting routes and setting up quantum.
In
EQ, I feel like I don't know. I don't know. The changes are great, but I definitely think they should add, well, because they have some stuff, right? There are some ships, like I think the Freelancer borks a lot. It might be intended. Somebody sits in one of those seats, they've got control over certain things. They need to like get out to the pilot can actually do things, but
Mhm.
it would be nice for the co-pilots to be able to do that, especially navigating.
Yeah.
So that all they're worried about is where they're going.
Yeah.
It's the same with like it may seem wild for a hammerhead not to have like guns, and I think it's only missiles.
Mhm.
Guns like the pilot, but like, man, they've got to maneuver a bunch of different turrets. I don't know what I'm saying, honestly, but no, I feel like the pilot should only have to like go, and we should have navigators set
Right.
routes. They should be able to set routes for the pilot or for like the ship. I don't know, or like I don't know how that would work, but definitely navigate. Probably be able to switch the power triangle, maybe manage shields.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
like
that players have been so used to kind of doing all that themselves that they don't realize the freedom that you're talking about, that it will give the pilot to focus on flying, right? Because even the things like power management and shield management, just basic things like that, if someone else really knows what they're doing and they're on it, that can free the pilot up so much to be focused on what they're doing. I know even landing assist, at one point it used to be if someone was in your co-pilot seat, they could call the tower for you. And the pilot didn't have to do it, which was great. I know how many times when I've tried to land a big ship, the co-pilot is the one that's maybe doing third person and telling me whether I'm clear going into a hangar, right? There's all types of cool things that co-pilots can do. And then there's permissions, as you mentioned, where you can literally give them permission to fly the ship if necessary. There's a lot of different things there. And even navigation. I want to go back to what you're saying about navigation. And fastcart, I'm going to go on that because I think Meg raises some good points. The new star map is really great, but it does take time away from you as a pilot to have to stop and bring it up and look at it. Sometimes you have to type in things to say specifically where you want to go. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at it, fastcart, but like for you,
I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that this is going to be a role that definitely you want to have somebody else pick up? Or do you think most people, I know if you're in a single seater fighter, you ain't got no choice, but some ships do have the ability to have a co-pilot. That seat is always over there. What do you think?
I mean, if you're trying to maximize your flight time, like if you don't want to spend too much time waiting around and you're ready to, you're good to go.
Mhm.
So yeah, the co-pilot and navigator would be great to have because the pilot has one job and the co-pilot and navigator can do other stuff while the pilot is doing their thing. But when it comes to plotting course and stuff like that, bring them the morbid glass, plot the shortest course or the quickest course. Also, you have to worry about if you want to avoid dangerous areas or whatnot. So you got to know. You want to know the current events or what's going on your route. So yeah, you got to pay attention to that too, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a much more vital role, especially as we're able to assign permissions to people. Maybe your co-pilot is also handling security, right? Paying attention to who's coming in and off the ship. Meg, did you see how on the star map now you can see where doors open up and stuff, for different areas, which is really, really cool. And they just recently added the icons for people. At first you just saw the doors open, but that was it. Now you can actually see the people moving around on your ship, right? So
and in Arena Commander, you can open those doors.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. And the engineering with the new engineering thing. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff.
That's another thing that I feel like is underhyped. An actual person that stays behind. Because people those MSR $5 billion complainers.
Yeah.
If you just in the future when we get engineering or something, maybe you could just open those doors as your crew comes on.
Yep.
You can lock them from up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, ships as big as a Javelin or Idris with all their doors.
Yeah.
That's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make it easy and have Pico as my co-pilot.
Yeah, there are people who there are great scenarios. We have some people who maybe aren't good pilots, right? They're not good at FPS. But guess what they may be good at? They're maybe good at staying inside the ship. Like one of the things that we don't do in this game a lot, I mean, some people maybe do this, and those of you who played Elite Dangerous may remember this, but one of the things that we do, like when you go to a bunker, there's no reason why there can't be somebody who stays on the ship, drops you off and goes up into orbit and waits till you're ready to come down. We leave ships out there, they get blown up, then we get mad about it. You know what I mean? It's like, have that person that's what they do, or they're just security. We're going to talk about security later, but That's my point. There are so many roles that we don't think about yet that later on might be very important. You may not leave your ship abandoned later on because now you got to worry about somebody who's going to maybe hack into your ship. And you're downstairs in the bunker or you're in the distribution center doing something and somebody has broken into your ship and stolen all your stuff off of it. I mean, there's all types of stuff that people could do.
Brought an SRB in and your ship just
Really?
Too long.
Yeah, come out. Your ship's on bricks, right? You know, your engines are gone, whatever, right? I mean, all types of stuff people could do.
God.
Okay,
Man, I dread the day I find my BMM on bricks. That's gonna be a rough.
that's
day.
gonna be it. I know. All right, gang. Listen, if you guys do exclamation point ticket, you can get in on this first contest we have. We're giving away items for hangers. We know that persistent hangers are coming up within this next patch, hopefully, and we want you guys to be able to decorate. So put in exclamation point ticket if you're interested. We're giving away the Puglisi collection. All the items in the Puglisi collection. There are 4 artifacts that are in these glass cases. For those of you who weren't around back in the hangar days, y'all don't know what y'all missed out on because we used to decorate our hangars and pull all this stuff up and make the place look really personalized. So if you guys want to get in on that, sign up for that ticket. We're going to give you about maybe 15 seconds, exclamation ticket, and then we're going to go ahead and punch it. You'll get all 4 of the items. The items are called, and I always forget these names. There's the Planet Artifact, the Vandal Scythe Armor, the Velisi Fragment Stone, and the Composi Magnus Skull. You guys,
and the cool thing about those they all have lore behind these. So yeah,
they're lore. They're animated. They kind of spin inside the glass, if I'm remembering correctly. They're really cool. So if you guys, and those of you who weren't around, like I said, you never saw the hangers, you don't really know what this stuff is. You see it on the website, but that's what that is. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready.
Colossal.
Oh no, God, Colossal. So Colossal's trying to get into the race again as usual. All right, thank you, Jade. Thank you for the happy anniversary. We appreciate you guys being here for the 200th episode. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit this. We're almost at the 5-minute mark. We got 20 seconds. There was something else I want to say about the co-pilot navigate. You were just talking about the star map, Meg. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you think is really crucial for a co-pilot to be able to do? How about knowing how to fly the ship? That would be one thing, right?
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to be funny.
I would have thought that would have been obvious.
Well, but hear what I'm saying. There are some people who they may be doing these roles that we talked about, but let's say something happens to the pilot. I mean, you guys have you ever been in a ship before where the pilot glitches out and they're stuck in the seat or something like that? And you're in and maybe maybe you're flying a freaking, I don't know, a Carrack, and this person's used to flying small ships, right, Meg? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you got to land the the other day I was with my buddy. We were in a what were we in? We were in the Hull Sea. Was it the Hull Sea? What were we in? We were in some big ship, and I was showing it around to him. No, we were in a Starfarer, and I hadn't been in a Starfarer in a long time. And I had literally said, the Starfarer is an old ship. It's probably still got some gaps in it where you could fall out. We were in the back upstairs, and next thing you know, whoosh, I went out. He had never been in a Starfarer, never flown a Starfarer. He had never he had only flown a ship one time. And so I'm out in space, and I'm like, dude, you got to land that ship. So I'm just saying, he had only flown a Mustang. That was it. So now he's in a freaking Starfarer, right? So my point is that your co-pilot should also be capable. You don't take somebody who flies a Cessna and tell them all of a sudden they got to fly a 747, right?
747, right?
Yeah, they got to get used to it, because I know I've had that happen. All right, y'all, we into this contest. We're getting ready to punch it. We're going to close the giveaway starting 3, 2, 1. We're on the closing of the giveaway. Oh boy, almost half of you guys have signed up for it. All right, here we go. Meg, give me a countdown. We're going to draw the winner for this one.
3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Draw.
Whoa, look at that.
Hey,
look at that. No, that's right.
No,
that's right. No. Members of the Soul Citizens team are not eligible for prizes.
No.
All right. So we have to draw another winner.
Because I just told Colossal no. Colossal is mad as hell right now. I just know.
Jane says it's fixed. Jane says it's fixed. Okay. All right. Give me a countdown again there, Meg. One more time.
3, 2, 1.
Boom. All right. Is that, God, I can't even pronounce that. Executal. Is that right? Executal? I hope I'm getting it right. I know I'm probably saying it wrong. Please forgive me for slaughtering it.
Zucado.
Zucado.
Metroplex.
Zucado. Yeah, I know. Cattle. Are you here?
Cattle. Yeah.
Are you here? There. Hoo-ah. There you go. All right. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
You get that's what it is. It's a Mayan name. Thank you. You are going to be able to decorate your hangar with these wonderful artifacts. Please be sure to send us an email to soulcitizens@gmail.com. Soulcitizens with an S @gmail.com. Send us your RSI, the email that you use for RSI, please. Okay. Make sure you put down it's you. I don't have to have your real name, but I do need to make sure it's the name that's associated here. And we will make sure that we get those items out to you ASAP. So congratulations on that. Daft, thank you so much, my good friend. My good friend Daft is sending in 100 bits. We appreciate that. Stunner, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Good googly moogly. Thank you. You guys are awesome helping us celebrate our 200th episode today. You guys are awesome.
Thank you for the subscription.
Oh, we got a subscription too. Yeah. Wow, Shipwreck, 300 bits.
Shipwreck, 300 bits.
You guys are doing the hype train. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. Oh God, more stuff is coming in. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. We got more giveaways coming up. We got a real special giveaway coming up at the end.
Mad Style.
Mad Style. Oh God, thank you, Mad Style, for the 5 gift subs. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's continue on with our wonderful topics of the day. Meg, I know you want to talk about this one. Engineers includes damage control, repairing, maintenance, reducing wear and tear, and maintaining items. What are your thoughts on the upcoming engineering coming into Star Citizen?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm nervous as heck.
Really?
I hopped into Arena Commander, was trying to test it out, and I'm confused as heck. But,
well, tell us seriously. Tell us what the hurdles were. What did you see? What did you see that threw you off?
Maybe I didn't read the instructions.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But it just seemed like there were fuses, and you only had so many fuses per person, and then I think fuses go out, and you have to replace them. But like, how do you know what fuses are down? I guess the engineering, but there just weren't like enough people. There weren't enough people. It was like, I don't know if you can load in. I think you can load it on other people's ships, but people will bring their own ships and load it on their own ships. Okay. Instead of like fully crewing. I don't know.
Yeah, you can multi-crew. Yeah, you can multi-crew.
Regardless, yeah, I was confused, but like that's not. I'm not saying that in a negative way.
Right.
It was just like that and Master Modes. I'm scared. Scared for big ships, people.
Yeah.
Guys.
What ship were you on? What ship were you on?
It's A2, right?
A2.
The A2 is the one they've got for testing it.
You know how many fuses that ship had? I don't. But there were a lot of places where the fuses were.
Right.
That's just the A2. And that's just fuses. Like, is there going to be more to engineering? Man, the people with big ships, people. Listen to Griffin. When you see those fuses.
And I cannot imagine the endeavor. That endeavor is going to be a monster to try out. Engineering, science, and research, and ship engineering. Oh my God.
I definitely think the game is getting more and more complex, and that's probably exact. I don't know why I enunciate it like that. It's probably exactly what Chris Roberts wants. Sorry, I've always been I just want to play the game, and not in a negative way. Just like, whatever comes, and I'll figure it out, and I'll learn. Right. 'Cause I love playing this game, but the backstory, the beginning, I know nothing about that stuff, like what Chris Roberts wants and yada yada. But engineering and this getting more complex, I'm nervous because people want to fly their own ships, and no one wants to crew. Sometimes we are getting better about that, but we do, like, we're talking about these odd jobs. We need more people not flying their own ships.
Meg, I don't know if you know this, but there's the engineering manual that's supposed to be coming out. You can order it online. It's digital now, but yeah, I think it's $5, and that might be something we both of us have to look into.
Do they have an audiobook?
Yeah.
I'm interested.
No, it's a good point that you mentioned that, Meg, because that's one of the reasons why, not to be funny, I mean, it's great that you're in there testing it to see what that's like, because a lot of people, some of us will learn on the fly later on. Some people will get into it and learn that way. But the fact that you're in there and other people are in there, really, first of all, to see what it's like, and then secondly, to be able to give your thoughts and comments about it, because CIG has to find the proper balance between gamifying and what makes people feel real, simulated. It can't be so scientific that people just look at it and they're just completely confused. It's got to make there has to be some intuitiveness to it, but at the same time, it needs to be challenging, right? It's going to be interesting. No, I was going to say, what were your thoughts? I know you got something you're going to say. Go ahead. What is it?
I forget if I don't blur stuff out sometimes, so I try to like remember. But I was just gonna say with the engineering, like with the station being able to open things, and you can even check like the power, and I'm sure like more stuff's gonna come with that, and that's gonna look different once it hits live or in the future. This is just like iteration 1, but wow, it is gonna feel like a simulation. Just the basic stuff that they had in there with the fuses and being able to see your components' health and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you were able to repair with your multi-tool. Yeah. If you had like the Cambria, I can't remember what it's called, but it's people who want to be engineers. It's coming. It's gonna be awesome.
To your point, remember that I opened up the show giving you guys the example of the person I was talking to with the Idris. Remember that conversation? And I was talking about, he was saying, I'm going to have 2 engineers on the Idris. And I'm not saying 2 engineers isn't good, guys. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that if you've got 2 engineers on there, they better be good engineers. You're going to need somebody. Some of you guys know some of these ships have 2, 3, 4 shield generators. They have 8 coolers, whatever it is. This person's going to have to know the layout of the ship. If Meg says we're losing shield number 2, you're not going to have time to say, well, where's that at? It's down on deck 3, all the way in the back on the left side. You know what I mean? I mean, that's that. You got that engineer people.
My left or your left?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, engineering people are going to be worth their weight in gold because they're going to keep you going. I was watching Star Jump Grim, Meg, in fastcart, and he said something that didn't strike me. When he said this, it just all hit me, the reality of this whole thing. He said, right now people are so used to going in and fighting, like, how we like shoot the Idris and stuff like that in the game, and we blow it up and everything. And we keep hearing about how you're not going to be able to blow these capital ships up like that. You're not going to be able to hurt them like that later on, disable them. He said, what we don't think about? He says that when players start getting their own Idris, and when they have engineers and people on that ship, while you are out there in your fighter banging away at their ship, right? Whether it's your Ares or your Gladius or your Scorpius, there are people on the inside fixing it at the same time. Think about that. So your effort to disable this ship, if a person is well equipped with engineers, they could sit out there indefinitely almost, keeping that ship together. If they're a good engineering team, you've run out of ammo. You've been out there 45 minutes hammering at the sucker. And every time you see it start to go like this, a couple minutes later, you start to see it go right back like that because they're out there keeping that sucker alive. So now we start to understand the idea of how battles can go for long periods of time. You start to understand how they become a point where you actually do declare that it's time to abandon ship. Maybe you've been out here for 3 hours trying to hold this ship down. You see what I'm saying? While you're out there banging on that ship that normally took you 8 minutes to blow up, they're out there for freaking 45 minutes an hour. Now they've called for backup because you thought you were going to take them out. Their engineering team is keeping that sucker. It may be beat up, it may be shot up, but it's still alive. So engineers are going to be worth their dime, every ounce of their dime, because they will keep your ship alive. You can have a great pilot, great turret people, but all you got to get somebody to target your quantums or target your power systems, and all that stuff goes out the window. But if you got some good engineers, they'll hook you up, keep you alive. So it's something to think about. Anybody got any thoughts on that before we get going? Because we're going to move to the next one. Go ahead.
I mean, intuitively, it occurred to me, but it wasn't until Grim said that I explicitly thought about that. Because, and plus, the ship is going to have armor, so hopefully by then. So it'll be even tougher to kill. So people are expecting to have these quick battles. It won't be as quick as they think it will be.
We're going to submit.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna. Plus, boarding tool will probably be important by then too. But go ahead.
Yeah, Lord of the Drip said he's gonna have a few R2D2s running around helping him out to keep the ship going. Go ahead, Meg.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if we're gonna talk about this role, but I didn't even think about it until you said something. running out of ammo. Like we are.
Oh yeah.
We do have the ability. I think I could be wrong. To reload like missiles, maybe not torps. Maybe that's too big. But I wonder if that's going to be a thing. Like actually rearming the ship.
Yep. We can go back to that. Kind of the loadmaster category can fall into that as well. Meg, that's a very good point. We've seen CIG show how torps and stuff will be on flatbeds and stuff that you load into your ship. We haven't seen what that mechanic's going to look like, but imagine having to reload some of these ships, right? That do have that ability. Somebody's got to do that, right? Somebody's got to do it. You know, if you're going to go, and I mean, Admiral Kusanagi talks about this all the time when it comes to like the Atlas platform things. What are the Centurion and stuff where you've got the missiles and stuff on it? And he's like, well, what are you going to drive your thing all the way back to some place to reload it, or is there going to be some means to load out in the field, right? Somebody's going to have to pick up that role to do it. Somebody's got to, you know, some of us have to do refueling. You know, we didn't even get into that. You know, who's going to be doing all that stuff? Who's going to be operating the boom operator in the back of the Starfarer? We didn't. I mean, there's so many jobs. I couldn't do them all, y'all. I couldn't. But there's going to be people who going to have to know exactly what they're doing. You can break the boom. You can overflow. You can mess it up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to know what they're doing when they're doing it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of us are good. We can pilot it and we can do that too. But some people don't want to do all that stuff. They don't want to be bothered with that. Somebody's got to do it, you know, to make it worth the while. Okay. Somebody said, I know who, not me. Okay. All right. Let's go on to this next one here. Refining. Meg, why don't you read that one?
Refining is the process by which ore and other raw materials obtained from mining are filtered and purified into a more valuable resource.
Okay. We've got refining now in the game in the sense of going to a refinery, right? People who do mining and stuff right now, and their prospector, their mole, they go take that stuff to the refinery, they drop it off, boom. They go do something else, they come back, their stuff is ready. But there is this dynamic of ships like the Expanse that are coming later on. And that seems like a job that maybe some people might not savor. You know what I mean? Sitting in there and refining raw material, that's going to be their gig. But CIG talked about the fact that the people that do that will have a certain skill or understanding of what it takes, what to combine. We don't know, not only are you going to refine, but CIG may also make it so that not only do you refine things, but maybe you take things and you actually have to know some form of metallurgy. You may know what happens when you mix aluminum with this to produce another type of metal that's needed for something else. It could be for aircraft design. It could be for supplying materials to a crucible. It could be for the sake of selling it. There could be some mission that says we need this particular type of something made or picked up. And there are going to be people who want to do that type of stuff in the game. Meg, I don't know if you're into... Oh, go ahead, fastcart. Go ahead.
And also you have to take an account of like how long would it take to refine and how much will you lose due to inefficiency. You know, different places, different ships may have different inefficiencies when it comes to mining. Like some ships may have like 90% efficiency. Some stations may have 95% efficiency. I don't think I'm going to have like 100. We'll see about that. But yeah, do you decide to go to one place that's closer to maybe have less efficient refinery, or you decide to go the long haul to maximize your efficiency, but it takes longer.
Well, that's what's in the game now. That's what's in the game right now. The stations do that. There are ratings at the stations of which ones will have a better efficiency and give you a better payout. But we're talking about players now. We're moving outside of that. We're talking about the person who's got a mining operation going on in the belt, and they've got a refining ship out there. And to your point, you're absolutely right. Does that person know what they're doing, right? Because you actually could be losing money if you got somebody in there who really doesn't know what they're doing. You calculating one number and you end up with another one when it's all said and done.
Are you ripping me off? Are you skimming off the top?
Yeah, no. Well, that could be too. That could be too, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Meg, you got any thoughts about the refining thing at all? If not, no big deal.
I think it's going to be interesting to see ships like the Starfarer get refining and what that looks like. I feel like we don't have it within ships, but I feel like it's pretty simple when it comes to what we have so far in game. They could probably be skilled in knowledge, knowing the locations where you can, like, I'm curious what it'll look like in the future, because like with cargo,
Mhm.
there are specific locations, and I don't know if this is in the game now for mining, but there are specific locations. No, I think it is. There are like bonuses to going to specific
Right.
places,
Right.
and with specific materials.
Because some places you lose, some places you lose money on.
I was gonna say that with cargo, like there are some places where it could be faster. I thought that's what they said about the cargo, like auto filling your
Yeah,
ship.
they
Anyway,
did.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did.
Yeah, I think those players, with those roles, knowing that stuff is going to be huge.
Yeah.
I'm still curious what that looks like when it comes to the role within a ship.
Mhm.
Because like for a ship like the Odyssey,
Mhm.
I mean, you better pay that person money, because
Yeah, right.
you need to be self-sufficient. They need to be. I don't know what that looks like, but that's definitely a role I see myself being in, just because I see myself in an Odyssey in the future.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, gang. Let's move on to the next one then. Maintenance and repair. Who read last? Was it me or Meg? Who read last?
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maintenance and repair. Repair is an upcoming career. It allows players to repair ships to different stages of quality. It will either be performed with the use of a repairing ship or a handheld tool.
Okay. Maintenance and repair. We already have had this aspect of repair slowly being introduced. Drowse, thank you so much for the 6-month
you.
sub. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. We've already had this like real basic repair element so far. A lot of people don't really monkey around with the repair because it's kind of just easier to fly somewhere and get your ship fixed. But I've watched Admiral Kusanagi. He's fascinated by it. He loves grabbing a repair tool. And even if your wing is half sawed off, he's out there, trying to put it together, which is very cool. And I appreciate the fact that he's doing that, because he's getting a leg up on what it takes and how much time it takes. Because we know that there's going to be a point where having access to a repair location may not be feasible. You may be in a situation where you just cannot get back. It could be a classic example, Meg. You decide to have a dogfight, but it's in atmosphere, not in space, right? And in that process of being in atmosphere and having to fight, you win the fight, but your wing on your ship is so damaged that you cannot fly in atmosphere, right? Because it's damaged really badly. So your option may be, well, there's no place to repair. I can't fly to one of these bases. But what I can do is go into my storage, pull out my multi-tool, or my repair tool, and I can get my wing into a place where now it's aerodynamic again, and now I can fly someplace to get it fixed, right? Players aren't getting that yet because we don't have that level of aerodynamic flight in the game where your flight is impacted so badly. Some of us have been in a ship where it's so bad your ship is kind of wobbling, and you're trying to get there. But eventually it will get to a point where if your wing is that damaged, maybe you just can't fly. Go ahead, FC.
I'm totally confused. This seems like a subset of engineering. Well, there are different types of engineering. The engineers will have different jobs. So
Yeah.
you may have one who take care of the fuses. You have another one who repairs stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's an actual engineering station too. I feel like it'd be
Yep.
really, even like the A2 is not huge, but it is still big. Because I'm pretty sure there are fuses downstairs, down the elevator, down the ladder. So like for that engineer, if it's just one role, to go to the engineering station and be like, oh, the fuse here needs to be changed below. Let me run all the way down the elevator or down the ladder, change that fuse and run all the way back up. I feel like there needs to be one person at that station, and then maybe another person working on fuses and another person actually repairing components.
Yeah.
If not more than that.
Yeah. And you can see
Can
how
you imagine someone could implement a version of Among Us in Star Citizen? The people who had sabotaged the ship, other people trying to fix the ship. We got to find out who's who.
Yeah, who's who.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your scenario, Meg, you can easily see how in a perfect scenario, it may seem like overkill, right? To have 3 people on an A2. But in a battle scenario, and you're trying to keep the A2 alive and keep it going, right? What if it's the circuits that actually feed the bombs in the back, right? And that circuit goes out and you can't do the mission. So all of a sudden, needing those 3 people may be so much a part of the mission, where normally you're just flying around. Maybe one person's sufficient, if nothing really going on. So you can see how people are going to really have to think about that, right? In the sense of what are they willing to spend? Who are the people that can be on the ship? And not to be mentioned, those fuses, Meg, to your point, They gotta even know where the fuses are. You know what I mean? I mean, you can help guide them, with the map and stuff. But even then, if there's a lot going on, you really want people that you can say, starboard side, blah, 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 the fuse by turret 3, and they just know where to go. You're not having to look at the map and walk, turn here. Now, when you get to that next alley, turn it, do all that might be a bit much. Oh, God. Vaverick, thank you. 1,000 bits. You guys are so awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Maintenance and repair, again, a lot of people are looking forward to being able to use ships like the Crucible, ships like the Vulcan, being able to restock, refuel ships, repair ships. There's the dynamic of, I think Pops threw something in here earlier about a question about drones. You need people who can be drone operators. Who can operate a drone? Who knows how to operate a drone and not tear it up or lose it in space? You know what I mean? Those are going to be factors. Who's going to do that? Are you the pilot going to leave your seat and go back and operate the drones now? Who's going to do all that stuff? I think the Reclaimer has how many positions? You've got pilot, co-pilot, 2 laser cutters, you got 2 drone operator seats, you got turrets, and you got people downstairs in the freaking grinding and refining and packing area.
There's also turrets for protection.
And turrets for protection. So you got maybe 8 people on a fully crewed, maybe 10 people fully crewed on a ship like that. Not to mention when damage is coming in, you need somebody, engineers to run. And listen, a Reclaimer ain't no joke to run around on. You know how many levels in a Reclaimer? How many people are going to be running around putting fuses and fixing stuff and, welding components back then? The dynamics can change dramatically under real working circumstances. Mm-hmm.
Lord, just made another good point. People are going to have to learn engineering differences across different manufacturers and platforms.
Yeah.
Someone who knows how to engineer on a Reclaimer may not be good on a Orion and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just something as simple as just even knowing the layout on the ships could be a big deal. For some folk, I think people who are into
the last thing you want to hear is me asking my lap or your lap.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we got one more. Then we're going to do another. Oh, no, we got a giveaway now. We're on another giveaway. We're on another giveaway. Okay, gang. We are going to do this giveaway, and this giveaway is for some of you guys are familiar. Once again, we're doing items. We're doing items that are bound for hangers because we're looking forward to the new hanger stuff. These are going to be for the holographic tables. You guys know that there are 4 holographic tables in Star Citizen. Meg, why don't you tell people what those tables are in the second giveaway there?
We got one for the beloved, rest in peace, Port Olisar. I don't know what this is, but the IMS Bolivar.
Mm-hmm.
Icarus 1 and a probe holographic table.
Okay. Now, some of you guys may not remember some of these. Most of you probably around for the Port Olisar. But fastcart, that very last one, the ICC probe. Tell people what the ICC probe was. Do you remember?
The Tessa Bannister one, right?
Yeah.
Space beacon or bacon.
That was the yep.
No, the distress beacon.
The distress beacon. Right. So yeah, these are going to be great. You guys have seen these before. They're the big like freaking pool table looking things that have the holographic space stations hovering over them. Right, they're animated and stuff. They're very, very cool.
Yeah, totally confused. The table of holographic art. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So we're giving those away. This is for you guys to be able to decorate your hangers because the hanger stuff is coming. So if you guys are interested in these, go ahead and put in ! ticket, and we are going to give these away. You got 45 seconds. We're not going to hold this one up too long.
If you already won before tonight, don't try to win again.
Yeah.
If you try to go citizen, don't try to enter. Colossal.
Yeah. One prize per customer.
It's fun.
One prize per customer today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to get ready to do that one. We've got about 25 seconds. Oh, you know what we could do too? Let's do our commercial break. We didn't do that. We're going to do a commercial break. That'll give you guys an extra 1 minute to sign up for this one. Okay. So check this out and we'll be right back. I think it will. This thing did this. There we go.
Yeah, it started.
And for those of you and for those of you who aren't seeing the ad, bear with us here. You've got 1 minute. Get yourself something to drink because we're going to be right back.
Oh, that's weird because it says 1 minute for in the chat, but it's actually 20 seconds on the in the actual ad.
Well, I'm getting 40 seconds right now on my count. 37 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So, looking at that. But see, it's 2 30-second commercials. That's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's one 1-minute commercial, is it? Because it looks like it just changed over to something else.
It's one 30-second commercial for me. Let's see if it comes back. It just came back for me, and it still says 20 seconds left.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, I've got 3 different commercials that just popped up. It was one of 3. Yeah, it was one of 3. No worries. We got 10 seconds left, gang. Alrighty. We are back, and we have everyone in who's going to be in on this giveaway at 3 seconds left. And FC, I'm going to ask that you are going to close it out right now. Boom. FC, would you give us the countdown, please?
3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Contact.
Wow.
Lord of the Drip. Are you still here? Congratulations if you are. Let's see if Lord of the Drip pops up. Lord of the Drip. There.
What? Yes, it's you. You won. You get the 4 holographic tables of these wonderful items of lore of Star Citizen that you can decorate your hangar and make it very beautiful. The ICC Port Olisar, the IMS Bolivar, the Icarus 1, and the ICC Probe. Congratulations there. Lord of the Drip, make sure that you send email to us at soulcitizens@gmail.com. Soulcitizens with an S at gmail.com, and we will get those items out to you so that you can make your hangar beautiful.
And I feel like I want to be red and white to demonstrate some of these prizes, but with the way Griffin is announcing this stuff. So good job, Griffin.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's go to one of those big subjects. I'm going to give this one to Meg because of her iconic name for her group. I can't help but give this one to her. Let's talk about food, prep, and cook. All right, Meg, that one's on you.
Sweet. Cuddy Crawford. The culinary cruiser, as I like to call it. I know how to run a restaurant, but coordinating deliveries so there'd be fresh local proteins or ripe jumping limes way to get the next LZ was absolutely essential to the restaurant's success. That's why I loved listening to your show. Hearing you and your guests talk about the nitty-gritty details of hauling really helped me understand and navigate the complicated logistics of running a roaming restaurant.
Okay. Now, the reason why we're showing that is because this is in part of Star Citizen lore. And this question has always been for a lot of people, what will be the significance and the importance of food in Star Citizen? And you guys, fastcart, I'll go to you first. What are some of the things that food is usually for in games in general?
Buffing, different buffs, or debuff as it can be. But yeah, you can get different buffs and making sure you know what food can provide or what buff. Because if you're going on a certain mission, you may not want to have something that slows you down.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a cook or prepare to know what you need before you head out.
Okay. And Meg, how about you? I know we joke around with the double dogs all the time, but I'm sure you've looked at the food and saw that certain foods do certain things, certain drinks do certain things. Some things dehydrate you, some things are good for you. You know, what do you see that how food can maybe be impacted in Star Citizen? And what way is it done so that it doesn't make people become superhuman? You know what I mean? But what could some things food do for people?
Fill their stomachs. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got
no,
nothing.
wait. No. You don't. I'm not gonna say you don't have nothing, because what happens when we don't eat in the game?
You cut out.
Gruff. I don't hear you.
Oh, what happens when we don't eat in the game?
We die.
Yeah.
Starve and die.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some of you have had this happen before, where you get down very low on your numbers or hydration, and all of a sudden your vision starts getting blurry. You know, you start realizing, and your heartbeat starts racing and things of that nature. So we need to have food just to survive in the game, right? But the question for me becomes, some of you guys have ships that literally have kitchens in them. I mean, some of you ain't got nothing but a microwave, and that's okay. That means a microwave and maybe a coffee machine, and that's it. But as you guys know, Meg, were you around back when they did the thing with the 300 series where you could buy the different food items for the ship? Were you around back then?
You still can.
I'm asking her, was she around when we did it?
I think when it first dropped, no.
Okay, all right. So, when they first did it, they did it as a test, and they only did it with the 300 series, right? Okay. So there were the items that you could buy was a clock, a coffee machine, a picture frame, and a food processor. And the question became, well, what's the coffee and the food processor for, right? I mean, if I could just go buy food, what is the purpose of those things? So do you guys, I'm going to ask either one of you, it doesn't make a difference, but what do you think maybe could be the benefit of having the coffee machine or the food processor when I could just go pick up a bottle on my way to the hangar? What's the big deal about why that should be on my ship?
We don't know what the prices of things are going to be.
Okay.
Maybe that could be one big thing.
Okay.
And also, maybe you just went out and killed a bunch of copian. I don't know. Or maybe you don't have a station to go to. Maybe you are so far out, or you live on an odyssey, and again, you're so far out. You need to be self-sufficient. So like maybe those things, your 300 as a little snub, your version of snub can be the thing that keeps you alive while you're exploring a planet, and you don't need a huge ship to come down with you. Okay.
FC?
I got one for you. You're surrounded by copians on a planet on a 300 series ship, and you're out of fuel, and you're waiting for pickup or repair or something like that, and you need to outlast the copian and to survive.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Another thing is pyro. I mean, I think the only thing for purchase was disgusting water.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if you could.
Yeah.
Not eat sea nuts and drink disgusting water.
Yeah. Do you think that those foods, and I don't know, we're just guessing here, y'all, so we don't know. Because the question is, what distinguishes those foods what are the reasons why certain foods you should eat? Why are there some foods that maybe you shouldn't eat, but you have to eat? You know, is there something like Meg just mentioned about the bad water? They sell it, right? So, you know, the question becomes, why should I have to buy it? I mean, if it's that bad, is CIG going to make something that says that this is the only thing you got right now? This is what you have to drink. And maybe it has a negative impact on you when you drink it in some form. You know, maybe.
Or maybe you have a way to purify it some way down the line. We don't know.
Maybe. I'm just really curious, guys. We're just asking these as questions, like what would be the reasons for some of these things? Yeah, who wants some noodles? Thank you there, Abdi.
Yeah, that got me too.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, but what we do know is that food is out there. Now let's go back to talking about on your ships. Some ships actually have kitchens on them. Do you all think that those kitchens are going to become alive? Like, I'm not bragging. I'm just asking. 890 has a full freaking commercial kitchen on it, right? I mean, it's got a freezer area.
How about you, Deep Man?
It's ridiculous, you know. What do you think? Is it going to be, is that just all cosmetic?
I think it'll be working eventually, but I don't know when. Don't ask me when, but I think it'll be working.
Stuff in the 300?
I'm saying the 890.
Oh, 890.
You know, the 890's got like that full kitchen in it. You know, like when you're going.
I don't know about cooking food, but again, I really try not to underestimate what CIG is cooking.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying they've dedicated a huge area on the 890. You know what I mean? There's like a whole restaurant.
That would be a waste of space otherwise, right?
Right. I mean, there are plenty of ships that also just have a refrigerators that don't do anything. So hopefully they at least change. Like, it's just baby steps. Maybe we see the fridges working. We've already seen like the coffee machines doing something.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe just little by little we'll start to see stuff activate.
Okay. So now that brings us. Now my question becomes, who's cooking? I'm serious. Who's cooking? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying, will there be a crafting dynamic of cooking? I'm not talking about just going down there and pulling something out of the fridge. Will there be some type of actual crafting that all those ingredients, those tomatoes, the stuff you pick out in the harvesting, that there'll actually be a player that can make food that has some type of benefit and buff that's better for you to get cooked than buying from a store? Is that too far down the pipe?
No, I don't think it's too far. I mean, some people in chat saying some people in chat are saying me, like I'll cook, they'll cook, not me. I'm saying them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there'll be people interested in cooking. A while ago we had that April Fool's Day scheme with the freelancer with the Big Benny scheme on it,
right?
The food truck. I'm hoping that they'll put that in the game eventually someday. I want to see a Big Benny freelancer serving people food.
We talked about that. I feel like, I don't know, it was a couple shows ago, but when server meshing comes online, we've already noticed that like places were getting super busy. And I keep using Pyro as an example because we only really have like 2 places, but think about how nuts. Okay. Think about Xenothreat last year. How nuts it was trying to land at Xenothreat or getting a hangar to take off. So what if you're trying to land to get food and water because you ran out and you can't? It'd be cool. What fastcart is saying to have things like that, which all we can do now is roleplay and like have maybe some crates with food inside of it and sell it ourselves. But to have an actual vehicle for that purpose would be amazing because there's gonna be a line potentially when there's 800 or more people at. I mean, I don't know if that's. I mean, yeah, right.
Right.
I don't know how many people are on a. It's servers within shards, right? I don't know how many people would be on the server that is one of the Pyro stations,
right?
And you also it doesn't even have to be Pyro Stanton,
right?
You don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
I get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to have a little. I don't need to land a ship and go inside. I just need to EVA over and grab a bottle
from
real
there.
From
I was reading something that Togi said a second ago. He said that there are plenty of people who love doing that type of crafting of food stuff, right? And it's funny. Some of you guys know there's a game out right now called Supermarket Simulator. I started playing it, and I was just having fun with it. It's one of those games you just kind of play and relaxes you, but it stresses you out at the same time. But one of the comments I made to the people that were watching me play it was, I said, it's funny how I will go play a game to do a career of something that I would never want to do in real life, right? And I'm not trying to go work in no grocery store, you know what I mean? But there's something about playing this game. And for some people, they may not ever want to be a cook, but they'll enjoy doing something like cooking in a game, right? And there are people, as some of you guys have played MMOs, where there are people that do nothing but cooking. That's all they do. They just prepare stuff and they make their money doing cooking. So I'm just kind of curious whether or not you think that, you know, on your ship, whatever your ship is, there'll be somebody here who says, hey, y'all need to make some food, or you've harvested some stuff, and that's what they do. And to your point, Meg, they make you self-sufficient. You don't have to go out and buy stuff, you know.
And also, you got to think about people who will be fishing. That's
a
different thing altogether. But fishing, people who raise the face cows.
Yeah,
you're gonna need people like that too.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we know that those fauna are coming into the game. That's a good point. Okay, let's hit this next topic. Here we go. Towing, leave no one behind. The SRV is a specialized recovery ship built for the extremes, from search and rescue to moving cargo containers. Its innovative tractor beam system makes towing effortless, while enhanced shields and heavy armor ensure pilot safety in tough situations. Have either of you guys ever messed around with the SRV?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it, Meg.
Have you, fastcart?
No, I'm saying it's all you. Go for it.
It's fun. It's scary. It's terrifying if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you lose a hammerhead, that sucker's going to take you out. But it is lovely. I can just even like bump the SRV, ship the tractor beams. We've got the Vulture. We've got the Reclaimer. We've got the Spirits. We got the Cuddies. We got the Connies. A lot of ships that I don't know if they actually, I take that back. I don't know if they can move things, but I do know I use my Spirit for rock mining. So when my rock blows up, I can take my rock with the tractor beam, put that bad boy back in my ship, go to a pad and repair it. Because that's too deep. I probably don't need to do that. But maybe we need to in the future. I love that about the Spirit. Oh yeah, the 315p. No, Matt, sorry. I shouldn't have started naming ships because I was going to forget about it. The SRV is beautiful. It's the interior is amazing. I'm sorry, we don't even talk about it. That's not what we're talking about. But towing in general is so much fun. It's going to be we don't know what things are gonna look like in the future, which I've learned from y'all. I'm saying it, but it's really like y'all taught me this. But we don't know what prices are gonna look like. We don't know how repair is gonna look like. Like what if we can get somebody to tow our ship back to a pad and get it repaired versus having to wait 50 minutes to get that ship back, or just things like that. yeah, having a tower is gonna be amazing. What if you run out of gas and for some reason your crew doesn't have a Starfarer?
Yeah.
Get towed.
Yeah.
And and New Soul's favorite profession that they like to talk about they're going to do is the repo man. You know, the SRV will come in handy for that, I imagine.
I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to repo anybody's ship. Well, who you repoing them for?
I don't know. Like not making payments or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, to Meg's point, this is another part. And Meg, I'm glad you're saying this. This is one of those games. Remember, we talked about how we're not playing Star Citizen yet. This is one of those parts that's there, because right now the fact that people have the luxury of just, like you said, going somewhere and repairing just like that, or even the fact that insurance happens pretty much like that. But later on, as you said, it may be better, both time-wise and money-wise, to have your ship towed and repaired than it costs to put in a claim. A claim may be not worth it. You know, it's like insurance now. Sometimes it's better for you to pay out of pocket, right? And not have your your insurance go up. It's better to go ahead and pay out of pocket versus going in and taking and putting a claim. And then next thing you know, your insurance go up. And they said in this game, your insurance can go up or you can even get dropped if it's abused. Go ahead, FC.
I was going to say, a couple people say you get told that you don't pay your insurance. If you pay your insurance, you still own your ship. You just won't be able to reclaim it if the ship blows up without insurance. So I don't see not paying your insurance as a reason for you to be towed. But we'll see. Yeah.
But towing is another. And Meg, to your point, there is a little bit of a skill to towing people's ships. We don't have complete control with that towing as much as I would like, because I want us to be able to control, like how would you with a multi-tool where you can kind of rotate it and turn it. Right now, we've towed some ships before, and when we dropped them bad fellas off, they were upside down, because you just don't have the control you want. So you don't want nobody tearing your stuff up either. You know what I mean?
1 star.
Yeah, it's a 1 star. But yeah, towing could be, and there will be some people out there who will be, if maybe they're in your org, right? To your point, Meg, maybe your org is going out for something and there's somebody in your org who has the tow ship that can bring your ships in when needed. And don't y'all think that people won't run out of fuel, because there will be people who did not calculate well and run out of fuel somewhere, and there is no Starfarer, and somebody's got to get that ship.
That's why you need a navigator.
Yeah.
The previous point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why things like the Liberator, Kraken, and all those will be great, but for maybe people with I don't know, maybe the Gladius just needs a tow from Microtech to Crusader. I don't know if it can make that jump, or maybe it can. I don't know.
I can see a lot of light fighters pilots needing towed, because quite a few will probably overestimate the amount of fuel they have, or they think they have one quantum drive, but they have a different one. They have different fuel requirements. So I can see that happening for light fighters, or even medium fighters too.
And we're also seeing this idea with master modes. CIG is talking about the idea of us moving from destruction to disabling. And so, if you're out there in that ship and the ship is disabled, even doesn't have to be running out of fuel, but just because somebody has blown your quantum drive out, right? Or you just can't move anymore, somebody's going to have to tow you in. You're not going to sit there and say, well, I'll just kill myself, commit suicide and go back and get my ship, because that's going to be a penalty to you doing that. So the reality is you got to call fastcart up and say, hey, I need somebody to come out here and pick me. I've got 30 minutes of oxygen left. I need somebody to come out here and get me out, and get me out of here. That's all going to be a factor.
Example.
Yeah, that's why I like the spirit with the rock mining, because you can just put that bad boy right back in
there and go. Yep. Okay. Alrighty, we are getting ready to hit one more, and then we've got another giveaway coming up. Data running. Give this one to who's it? FC? Who reads this one?
I think
Meg's is this one.
Data running will revolve around collecting and transporting data and trading it. Data will either be collected through exploration by recording uncharted parts of space, or by downloading it from another server, and can afterwards be traded.
Yeah. Meg, you were talking about this earlier with the MSR. One of the things I hate about the MSR, I love the MSR. But one of the things I hate about the MSR is that we have not seen it doing what it's supposed to do in the game, right? It's become the thing to lug vehicles in, to carry cargo in, but the data running side of it is something that we haven't been. It's beautiful. You go inside, you got all these computers and all this great stuff in there, and right now it's nothing but a bunch of flashing lights. As a career, though, is this something you think you'd be interested in? Where you
Yes.
find? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It was what got me to purchase the game.
Mm.
I was in love with the MSR, and I'm proud to own it. And it is account bound.
Okay.
It's there. I'm excited for whenever data running comes to the game.
Okay. Have you flown the Herald as well? Drake Herald? Okay.
The missile, yep.
Yep, fast ship. Yeah, really fast ship. Yeah.
It's so cool inside one of the best interiors.
It is.
So you prefer the MSR over the Herald?
MSR just for like multi-crew and just more stuff. Herald, I'm not gonna say no to the Herald.
Yeah.
I can say no to any ship, but yeah, I just love all the intricacies of the MSR. Yeah.
I mean, the fun note about the MSR is that the MSR is the only ship in the game with the computing power to play Star Citizen. Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. Yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna see like some updates to the server rooms, like we saw in the server rooms of bunkers.
Yeah. I think
like them being physicalized and being able to be blown up.
Well, have you guys noticed that there are several ships out there and locations out there that have huge computer servers in them, right? We were out at the distribution center yesterday, and when you go behind one of the receptionist areas, there's a panel in the wall. You go through that panel, and there's a huge data processing room in there, right? Some of the ships, the Reclaimer, the Caterpillar, literally have computer rooms in them. And I've often wondered sometimes whether or not there will be some type of tie-in between data running and those rooms there. Can I go into that computer room on the Caterpillar and download their navigation logs, right, to find out where they've been and then transfer that someplace else? Meg, you know, like on the Herald, all of the data units are on the outside of the ship, right? You got those big CPU units that you can take off there. You know, will those be things that you'll actually be able to disconnect and sell to somebody, you know? Whereas on the MSR, everything's kind of interior, right? I'm kind of curious as to whether or not data running is going to also tie into things that we see interfacing between different ships, not just getting information and selling it, but also distributing it. Maybe in your org, you've done all the data running for information, and now you're passing that on to your people, and they plug that into their ships, you know, for navigation or whatever. All I know is that all those computers are sitting around there, you know, and I'm just kind of wondering, you know, if that will tie into people who are into this whole idea of managing and handling data, whether for sale, uncharted space, whatever it is, you know. I think that's something that would also be interesting.
I mean, a lot of people are looking forward to it, especially like, I mean, it doesn't have to be for illegal activities either. It could be for legitimate activities. Like maybe someone on Endeavor discovered a new, they discovered something using a telescope, and they want to transfer it safely from one place to another.
Exactly.
So that'd be a legitimate reason for data. It doesn't have to be for illegal stuff either.
Yeah. I didn't say anything illegal. Did you say anything illegal, Meg?
No, I'm a good citizen.
Yeah, so there's only one person in this room who thought about things being illegal, and it wasn't me and you. So
that's fastcart tonight. Illegal and people blowing up his stuff. Got trust issues.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Jade Star Wars already said that if it comes to playing Among Us in Star Citizen, I'll be the first suspect. So.
Yeah, you'd be the first suspect. Yeah, absolutely. But no, you're right, Fastcart. You know, it could be something as simple as, even if you're in the Endeavor, right, and you've got some vital information, you may not necessarily want to fly your Endeavor all the way back somewhere just to pass that information. But maybe you are willing to say, here's somebody who has this Herald, right? Can you pick this up and deliver it for me, right? So we can see how that information could be. And again, scanning a system, something like that passes on to your org. All types of ways that data running can be meaningful, you know, both to a single player or even a group of players. Okay. We're on our next giveaway, aren't we?
Giveaway.
We're on our next giveaway. Believe it or not, another giveaway. All right. As we told you guys earlier, we are doing giveaways for things that go into your hangars, things that you can, use for your hangars. And I am very happy to be here. We're happy to have you here.
Very happy to have you.
Thank you. Agent Langdon, thank you for being here. We appreciate that. And so we're going to be doing another one of these. And this time we're doing what we call the old school hanger flare. Some of you guys don't know about the old school hanger flare, but some of us who had hangers, we know about this stuff. The old school hanger flare are items that you could still buy them, But these were the very first Hangar Flare items that we got. One of them was the jukebox, the music box. That in your hangar, you could put it in there and listen to music. You actually used to back in the day, you could have a folder with all your music in it, and it would play all your favorite tunes and stuff. Another item is the Mr. Refinement's bar. Those of you who used to get drunk in your hangar, you remember this. Meg used to put this thing on the wall, and you would open it up, and all this smoke would come out of it, and all these different boozes were in there, and you could drink the boozes and fall out in your hangar. People's eyes would get blurry, and they'd fall out and stuff. That's also going to be
You're not making this up. It actually happened.
I'm not. Then there's the locker from another world. This is the locker that was in the game that you could open this locker and store it. You're supposed to store things in it and stuff like that. There are 4 items on this list. What's the 4th item?
Calendar.
The UEE calendar. The UEE calendar basically highlights different special dates and stuff that happened in the UEE. Mind you, it didn't go all the way up. It stopped at a certain year because they hadn't done all the lore yet. This is real early stuff. But this evidently is going to be working at some time. So these items are going to be in this particular giveaway. For those of you who want to continue to decorate and beautify your home away from hangar, that's what this is going to be for. Some of you already got this stuff, I know, because you've been around a long time. But some of you, maybe you've got multiple accounts. You may only have one of these. You say, you know what, let me get these 2 and I can put this in my other account. That's what these items are for. So we're going to give you another 25 seconds to jump in for this exclamation point ticket if you want to get this, and we'll pass this on to you.
And Jade, you're right. They do need to update the hangar. I mean, the calendar. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think that calendar started like in.
Simple, right?
It stopped like in 2944, right, Jade? Like 10 years ago, something like that.
Some early year, yeah.
Yeah. It definitely needs to be sped up a little bit. Okay. 2946. Okay, thanks, Jade. Yeah, it goes back to 2016, y'all. So we got to speed up the and hopefully when it comes out, you know, when the hangers go, they'll do all the updating to those items. All right, but it's
a constant reminder for when the Squadron 42 is supposed to come out.
Yes. Okay. All right, so we're going to close this one out. Let's close this giveaway out. We've got a nice group of people who have signed up for this. And Meg, I'm going to bring it back to you again. Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Boom. Whoa! CC Creator, you are the winner. It's rigged. CC, congratulations. Is he here? I don't see him yet. Say hello in the chat. I don't see CC in the chat. Do you guys see CC in the chat? Oh, he said thanks. Okay.
There it is.
All right, CC, congratulations. More stuff to clutter up your inventory. There you go.
Right.
All right. So congratulations for that. Woohoo. Okie dokie. We're knocking it down. All right, gang, we're getting near the end. We've got a mystery giveaway that we're going to do a little bit later. But for right now, let's move on to our final items that we have. And that is Combat Medic. Who's reading this one? Me? FC?
I'll do it.
Egg? Okay, go ahead.
As a combat medic specialist, you'll administer emergency medical care in the field in both combat and humanitarian situations. Your training will allow you to serve as a first responder and triage illnesses and injuries to save lives, much like a paramedic in the civilian world.
Okay, now this one, I know that there are plenty of orgs and people out there who've already started doing this. But there are also a lot of people out there who have not started doing this. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but I do want to talk about the benefits of this. Meg, when you guys go out and do stuff, I know you do a lot of FPS stuff. Do you all ever have anybody who's actually assigned to look after people, or do you just kind of keep it pretty much independent, or do people just kind of step up and do what they need to do? How do you guys do the whole medic thing when you guys are doing combat?
Step up and do what you need to do. We try to make sure that everybody has like med pens and med guns when we know that we're going to be in a pretty heavy FPS situation. Either way, I have at least like 20 med pens on me, 2 med guns. I'm ready to go.
You're prepped.
I got a tractor beam on my back. I'm ready to
pull them out,
move people to a safe location.
Yep.
Double gun them up.
Yep. and that's great. FC, what about you? Have you seen people doing the combat medic thing? Are you interested in that? Or
I have not.
okay,
But I know plenty of, like you said, plenty of orgs are already out there. Some of them have like great commercials already. And you know, I'm gonna give a reference to a 20-year-old game to say, where does it hurt? Because some people may recognize that from StarCraft. That was my first time I saw a medic in game, and yeah,
okay,
I thought it was cool.
okay. Yeah, Meg, I do the same thing. Like when I've gone out with people, I've gone out and everybody kind of makes sure that they have what they need, and then people assist people as necessary. Obviously, sometimes giving medication depending on what you're doing. Like for those of you who've done, like we've done Siege of Orison a lot for some of my friends, and one of the things that's a difficulty with doing Siege of Orison is that when you're doing like a very long mission like that, after a while, drugs start to affect you, right? You start taking certain types of injuries, like if you move from a level 3 to a level 2 to even a level 1, you need somebody who knows how to give you medication, because if you can be over drugged, and if you get over drugged, you don't walk right, you're slow, you wobble. If somebody knows how to administer the detox medication so that you can take more drugs in. And my point is that there are some people who kind of know the right thing to do. Like a lot of people don't know that when you use the med gun, if you use the auto setting gives you the right amount of drugs. If you just leave it on standard, you dope them up with everything. And so they get drugged up higher. And that's okay for 1 or 2 hits. But if you start taking damage over a period of time, next thing you know, your drug level's at 80%, 82%. And now your vision's blurry, you're wobbling, and people are like, what's going on? If you don't know, like you said, Meg, to carry a detox pen to help bring them drugs down. So these people, I think, will become more important as medicine and the medical career starts to build out more. Right now, the impact isn't that great. But I think that people might start thinking about making sure that everybody doesn't have to be a combat medic, but just make sure that somebody in your team, right, that kind of knows what they're doing when it comes to taking care of people, you know. But you can still play independently. Everybody could be lined up to be a combat medic. But some people go in, they don't even carry stuff on them. I mean, where's your med stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have enough pens. So I didn't bring it.
Yeah.
You know. And all of a sudden, everybody's trying to be a combat medic. Yeah, didn't come prepared for the gig. Okay. All
also
right.
Nice that comms are like pretty crystal clear. Like you know, like like this person's down. It's not like who can go get them.
Yeah.
We know who's gonna go get them. Like,
Yes.
You don't need to flood comms trying to ask.
Good. That's good. Good communications, and you kind of already know how to structure it.
And I can imagine sometime in the future, CID will implement different HUDs and different UIs for different roles.
Yeah.
There may be something like a combat medic UI, so people have the health bars and stuff like that on their screen, so they can keep track of stuff.
Yeah, like you see the outline when you have the med gun out, but maybe being able to see that with just your helmet, might be crazy. But
well, no, it's not crazy, Meg. You're hitting it on point, because they talked about that the helmets now are going to be starting to be designated for different tasks. Remember when we were at CitizenCon this last year, they showed us the thing about people sweating and bleeding. That is another great indicator for medic people, so that now when I look at you, just looking at you, I can tell what level of injury you have. Because right now I have to break out the med gun, right? But maybe if I see you're bleeding from your mouth and nose, that tells me right away you've got a head injury without me even scanning you, right? Or if you're sweating, maybe that means that you've taken some type of chest heavy trauma injury, right? You've got a level 1. Those visual cues can be just as important as the mechanical ones or technical ones that we get either in a visor or when we put the med gun on somebody, right? So there's a whole lot of stuff that can come out of that stuff. And that's why I think that if you have people who know how to recognize that, who really are into the medicine thing, they will be totally beneficial to helping you when you're playing the game, you know? Anyway, all right, we only got a couple more of these, and we're going to do our mystery giveaway, mystery giveaway today. Let's talk about this one, fastcart. Security.
I'm going to take the talk as security refers to all measures that are taken to protect a place or to ensure that only people with permission enter it or leave it.
Okay. Any thoughts on security, fastcart?
I'm going to need it for my BMM because I don't want people walking off with my products, my merchandise.
Okay.
I'm going to need it for my endeavor. I don't want people walking off with my research, my harder research that I've done myself and take credit for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to need security.
So that's okay. You're speaking in a generic form, and I get it. I'm not generic, general form. Be more specific on what you think security, or how you see Are you hiring somebody? What are you seeing for security for yourself? Because mind you, security could be things you put in place too,
Bodyguard.
right?
You can do bodyguard too. Yeah.
Okay.
More specifically, yeah, you could do bodyguard. You could have a guard for your door, security guard.
Okay.
Cyber security thing.
Okay.
You
Making
need
sure
that
people
too.
don't go to wrong places in your ship, for example, right? That they stay
that's true.
limited where you want them. Yeah, by accident. Yeah. Meg, what about you? What do you see for security when it comes to the game?
Honestly, first thing that comes to mind is Jade.
Okay.
Jade, I feel like does a really freaking good job of knowing what needs to be secure.
Okay.
Like in ship, out of ship, in like on ground with a rail gun. Jade, Jade, are you there, Jade?
Yeah, she's out there.
I saw her
Oh
earlier.
my
She was
gosh.
around.
Yeah.
Jade's pretty
Yeah,
cool about all
she
that stuff. But yeah, in terms of me, very small-minded at the moment. I feel like, I don't know, two cases that I've had like previously is like, I've gotten a crime stat while doing a bunker mission. Shocker. But I had my friend watching the lift to see if it went up, so that we would be cued that like somebody's about to come down. Or like they would go up first.
Right.
To check out and make sure like there are no ships up there, and then go in and be able to scan, make sure I'm good to go up. That, and also like if you're going to Korea, you can go inside, but you have no idea what's going to happen to your stuff outside. So like having somebody just like circling the area. So that being said, I mean, anytime you're doing anything, if you are worried about your inventory, I would think that you would have security either on board, depending on the size of the ship, or like rotating around you, the area. Like if you're mining, salvaging, and in a bunker, like I was saying earlier, having somebody on the ship.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I have a question for
distribution centers.
I have a question for both of you. Would you be okay with NPC security as opposed to players? No.
Have you seen them?
Yeah. Well, no. I will say this: if NPCs work like they're supposed to, and we get those times when we see them doing what they're supposed to do, I don't know what the programming would be like to know what they should and shouldn't do. In other words, how to assign them to respond to things. And maybe you could say, well, anybody who's considered a trespasser, security deals with them, right? That could be like that's kind of a generic kind of thing. But what happens if you get somebody who's on your ship and for some reason or other, there's an espionage side of it where they're actually a part of your group, right? And so now that person is not declared a trespasser. They're considered a part of the group. I don't mind NPCs when it comes to maybe things like the turrets and things like that, but there's some inflections of it that I just wouldn't. I'm not saying no, I just don't know how they would make it happen. If they can make it happen, security can be, I mean, not to be funny, security, like, have you monkeyed around with the AI now, Meg, in 323?
Yeah.
They ain't no joke. The fighters and stuff, they are no joke. They wipe you out in a hot second now. They've become totally coordinated and stuff with combat. But that's when they're working where they're supposed to be working. So, you know, I don't know. Based on how it is now, no. But security for me can expand into other areas. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Meg, before I change the subject?
They lack emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're not going to get that for security. That's for sure. Yeah, you're not going to get that. Security can also spill into a little bit of the escorting side of things, where you bring these people on. Like a lot of times when I'm like flying with a Hull C, for example, right? It's great to have escorts and fastcart. This is for you too. With the Banu Merchantman, it's great to have people who are flying alongside of you that jump with you, so that when you jump out, you've got that protection. But you also need, to Meg's point, that ship that went ahead of you, right? That actually got to the jump point before you did and has done some type of checking to make sure things are cool before you come out of jump, right? Because you don't want to jump into a hornet's nest, right? And so whether people are doing that level of security, whether people, to your point, Meg, are actually patrolling your ship or outside of your ship, the idea which you mentioned about the elevators, eventually, maybe there will be that point where you have to actually post somebody at the elevator.
We do that now. We do that now for sure. Like, even phase 5 of Overdrive Initiative. With one drop-off location, it's just like Korea. Like, everybody potentially is going to be there. PvPers know that, like, that's where people are going to be.
Right.
I've heard of people who are griefing people. So having somebody scout ahead, not even that, but like cargo missions too, if you're going to go drop stuff off.
Yeah.
Scout aheads are so important.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
Agent 1213 said, I am only using AI, not playing with real players on my ship. So there are people who go the other way too.
Break the heart.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope that AI does step up to that level where we can do it. I would just tell you it's a great idea, and CIG is doing some pretty forward, cutting edge stuff. If they can make that happen, that's great, but make sure you leave room for us to get there, and that you have a counter to that, so that if AI does pretty good but not the best, that you've got something. Because I think there are a lot of people who are counting on NPCs to do a lot of things in this game, and we've got to see it get there. So not that saying it won't, but it's just, I get nervous when people say I'm going to do something with nothing but AI or NPCs. I'm just nervous about that. Not that it's not capable. The question is whether or not CIG is going to make it happen. I know AI can do great stuff. I just don't know to what degree CIG is going to take it when it comes to that type of stuff.
Do you think they're going to unionize?
Well, hey, AI, you got to feed them. They got to sleep. You can't work them over.
We got Addison.
They got different levels
in the office now.
Yeah. I mean, they've got different levels of AI. You got to have deep pockets if you're going to have AI, and you got to be able to treat them right according to CIG. So keep all that in mind too. You can't just work them like they're robots. I can tell you that. All right, we got one more hit or two more hits, and then we're going to get ready to do our final giveaway. Intelligence and surveillance and reconnaissance, ISR. It's vital for all military operations. It provides decision makers and action takers with a better situational awareness of the conditions on the ground, in the air, at sea, in space, and in cyber domain. Now, I don't want to limit this to just combat, because intelligence and surveillance and reconnaissance can also go into civilian aspects. It can go into industrial aspects. It can go to fastcart when he's getting ready to go to a certain system. He might do some type of intel and want to know, are there pirates in that area? That's intel for him. Surveillance.
I'm the last person you want to come to when it comes to intelligence. don't come to me for
No, you're going. I said you're looking for intelligence, not that you're coming to you for it, okay? But you're going to take your Bandu into a system, and you want to know whether or not there's been a lot of piracy happening out there. For Meg, maybe it's surveillance. Maybe she's ready to go do some type of something somewhere, but they want to scope the place out a little time ahead of time and keep an eye and see what type of activity is taking place. And then there's reconnaissance, right? Where there's gathering information, going into a certain area and bringing it back. The Terrapin, ship that we don't really have doing very much in right now. It's something that really falls into the category for this one, that people, a lot of people like the Terrapin and are looking forward to the Terrapin coming alive. But reconnaissance and surveillance and intelligence can go into other areas too. You could be in Wally's bar and hearing a conversation going on between people. I've heard people doing conversations in game chat, talking about what they're getting ready to do. I don't know if they're trying to set people up or whether they just got having fun talking in the chat. Okay. But maybe the game will also make it where NPCs are sharing information. I know I shared this before in Elite Dangerous. When you're at the space station in Elite Dangerous and the NPCs are talking to each other, they drop hints about stuff that's in the game to go do. So if you stop and do some eardropping, and listening to them, you say, oh man, and then you know where to go without having to pull up your Moby Glass and look up something. You heard this conversation and gave you a hint towards something. So what do you guys think about intelligence and surveillance? You think there'll be people that's what they're going to do in the game? They're going to be just snooping around and finding stuff and telling people about it?
I mean, I'm going to have to recruit some people to scope out other marketplace so I can be competitive when it comes to prices on my BMM. So yeah, that's one way I'm going to do it. Or I can use my Moby Glass. You never know. But yeah, as far as the reconnaissance, I'm for going out into a system that it's unexplored, or you want to make sure the dump gate is clear, so you don't not get into ambush. Yeah, sure.
We had Jade do something the other day that was intelligence for us, and it was something real simple. We had spent the evening trying to find the doggone Copians and didn't know where to go. And Jade said, I can take you to where they're at. And she had went there and scoped them out. And literally, we went right there, and it didn't take more than 5-10 minutes before, boom, we came across them. People can have information about things, that you just want to find out about. Somebody says, maybe there's some location where something's happening, but it's not on the maps. But this person knows how to get you there, right? So we can see a lot of different ways that intelligence can happen in the game. Meg, what do you think? Any ways that you think that there'll be people who are kind of like these information brokers, you know what I mean, that you can get info from them?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that with maybe missions as well. Like if you get high enough rep with I was doing the Eckhart, I think not Eckhart. Well, maybe Eckhart too, but maybe Twitch. I think that's a person. But that person, dude. Maybe if you get like high enough reputation with them, they'll slip you like a little. Hey, I may have heard of something. You can keep it off the table, off the books.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty neat to see. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, you've been to distribution center, right, Meg? Okay, so you know how big that joint is, right? It would also be kind of cool to be able to have somebody who does recon in the sense of maybe you've got a heist mission you want to do, right? You know how like in the cargo area you got all those boxes and all that stuff, and maybe there's somebody who goes in by themselves, right, to scout out the joint, to tell you how many guards there are, if the area is hot, whatever the case may be, so that when you're ready to finally come in with your stuff, you already have an idea or a picture of what's going on down there, right? There may be people who are just good at that, just being covert. CIG showed us at one of the citizen cons where people, remember where they went in and stole the clothes and put on the clothes of the people and dressed like them? Like we were at the Sakura distribution center. They have their own type of armor. It's like this hot, like fuchsia, lavender, or pink kind of armor. And my question is, if I go in and put that armor on, will those guards in there recognize me as somebody that's a part of the Sakura team? So maybe you can have people who actually operate at that level, because they did show us when they did that thing on Pyro 3, how the person changed clothes and was able to walk around not being discovered.
And tattoos, right? Like the gang tattoo specific to rep. So like, I seriously hope that happens. That needs to happen.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like you were saying, man, this was probably like a year or something ago. That restaurant that's supposed to open in Microtech. You should not be allowed in there if in a flight suit. You need to be dressed down to the nines.
Yeah. Right.
That needs to happen.
But Meg, that's the only way I'll get in.
You can go to Whammers. Other side.
I go to Whammers. Let them go to Whammers. I hate to say this, Meg, but maybe that'll be the case at the gala, at CitizenCon. Maybe y'all be able to get a Whammers burger if you don't dress up good at the gala. I don't know. We'll have to see what CIG
I'll be fine
does with
if
that.
people treat me at Burger King, and that's fine.
You go to Burger King.
If it were the case,
You'll be fine with that. Okay, fair enough. All right, we do have a couple of questions. Fastcart, could you bring up the questions? I don't know why I don't have the questions bubble on my thing anymore.
Yeah, sure. So I got Pot and Space.
Okay.
Pot and Space ask, do you think they will do a sneak? This is from yesterday. Let me ask one from today. Sorry.
Okay.
So Pot and Space asked from today. You mentioned how drones perform tasks like ship repair and refueling. What opinion do you have on Star Citizen juggling those kinds of tasks with players and drones? So you mentioned about tasks between drones performing tasks on ship repair and fueling. Like people versus drone when it comes to doing tasks. I mean, for me, I think it'll be like a case of whether or not a drone can be better at doing a task. You got to pick the right tool for the job, and sometimes the right tool is a person as opposed to a drone.
Well, my thing is that the drones aren't, at least I don't think this is the case, Pops, and I could be wrong. I don't get the impression that drones are like automated. Like drone work is done because you're controlling it. So humans are the ones who are controlling the drones. The only thing that I've seen that was the automated drone are the drones that are going to be used in the the Nautilus. Those are automated. But as far as the drones like off the Vulcan or the drones that are on the Carrack or the Reclaimer, I sense that those were actually remote drones that you're controlling to do whatever task it is. They just help you more than anything. But I could be wrong.
I want to give a shout out to some of the a few of the other odd jobs that we had put in or talked about, like people who put out fires on the ship. That's gonna be a thing. People who put out fires. You mentioned the mine laying. Mine laying will be a niche job. How many people are going to be interested in that?
Mm-hmm.
And how about a person who comes up to you when you're line to load or unload cargo and ask whether or not you want your windows cleaned? That'd be a job.
Yeah.
Please.
That would be. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other things. We couldn't name everything, guys. You can see we're already over time. We can't name everything, but we do know that there are so many options. And I guess the whole point of this is we want to kind of remind everybody to not dismiss these things as not being important. Sometimes you find out, what do they call the people who are workers? What do you call the people that you need? Essential workers, right? Some of these jobs are like essential workers' job. Like the universe will be kind of funky without having these support people and people who are there to kind of carry on these different tasks in the game. And you may find that they're very important for you to have in the game, in order for the game to be much more fulfilling and also to manage your time better and everything else. There's a lot of things that these people can do to make your gameplay even better and enhance it even more. You may not have to engage with all of them, but some of them, I think everybody at some point is going to interface with some of these different odd jobs that we talked about here today. So that's that.
Question.
Sure, go ahead.
This is random. I don't know if anybody knows. Can the Starfarer siphon from other ships?
That question has come up. That question, it honestly has come up before. There was a thing about that it could that there was somebody who raised the question about can a Starfarer refuel another Starfarer, or could they transfer fuel? And I thought CIG said yes. Now I don't know about siphoning. That I don't know. You're asking can a ship pull up to a Starfarer and it pull the fuel the other way into it? Is that what you're saying?
Like maybe a huge battle went down and your side wins. You have a Starfarer and you can, if ships are soft death,
right? Go out there and pull the fuel from them. That's a real. It can't right now. But that's a great one. Oh, whoa! Shinbuck says I believe so. Wow, really? Yeah, I don't know that it does it now. You can't transfer fuel between tanks, but she's asking, can you pull the fuel off of another ship into your ship?
I was going to say, you have to self-start it by sucking on the fuel line really hard, then putting it into the other ship
Lord.
fuel hole. Then that'll work. So,
fastcart got back in the time machine again, Meg. He got back in the time machine on that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe so. I mean, maybe it will be something they can do, guys. We just, in time. But it's a great idea, Meg, because if you're able to recover that type of fuel, right? I mean, hey, why not? It's money. It's worth something, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that idea. Okay. Do we have any other questions, Fastcart, or is that it?
Nope. That's it.
That's it. Okay. I hope you guys are ready for the mystery giveaway. We didn't want to put this out there because if I put it out there, then all of you wonderful people who support us all the time, there'll be other people here who don't support us, even though we know that helps bring people in. We are just really thankful to you all because you guys are always here and you've been here to support us. So this next giveaway is a very unique giveaway. It's a double giveaway. What I mean by double is the winner can choose which one they want to do. I'm really wrestling with doing it this way because I really wanted to do something else, but then I was afraid that if the person doesn't take it, then it'll be wasted. And I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to give you guys an option here, okay? Here's the option. Hope you're ready for this. The option is this. This mystery giveaway is going to be for, and mind you, whoever wins this can let us know which one they prefer, okay? Which one they prefer. But you can't get both. Prefer, okay? Wow, Lord of the Drip. Thank you so much for the 10.
Thank you.
10
Wow.
community subs. You guys are amazing. You guys have been doing so much love to us today.
What are we up to for the month? Because I don't see the thing on the screen.
That's because we're on this screen. That's why. I can go back to the which I have no problem with. I can go back to our main screen, and I think that one will show it. We're going to switch screens real quick for you guys. And of course, it doesn't read anything. Doesn't show anything about subs. Isn't that great? Why isn't that working? Okay, so much for that. We have to find out why that's bugged. Okay.
15. Yeah, it said 8. Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you for the bit.
Yeah.
Texas Horny Toad.
Yes. Texas Horny Toad. That's hilarious. All right, we've got everybody sitting on the edge of their seats because they want to know what this giveaway is going to be. All right, so here's our mystery giveaway, gang. You can either get, and because we've been talking about hangers and 323 and CIG's moving forward, all this stuff. One of the other great things about the hangers is they've talked about this ship, Captain Serious Fun. Thank you for the 200 bits.
Thank you.
Oh,
And
God.
Hoglamia,
Thank you for the 100 bits. They're making us stall this out longer, right? All right, so here's the deal. You can either win a Aegis Retaliator bomber, okay? This Retaliator bomber has 3 years of insurance on it. I'm telling you that now. 3 years. It's not LTI, 3 years. But hey, if you can have a bomber, 3 years of insurance is great, okay? The other item that you can pick from, though, is also a general admission ticket to CitizenCon. So you get to choose which one you want, okay? Either the Retaliator bomber or a general admission ticket to CitizenCon. And the ticket is for, as you guys know, that's the general admission ticket. That's $250 for that ticket. Okay.
US dollars, yeah.
US dollars. If someone from Great Britain signs up for it, it's going to cost me more money than that. But
no, you'll be the one paying. Well, I don't know. Yeah, pay your money for it. Yeah, that's true. It will cost money.
So,
you're right.
if you are interested in a Retaliator bomber, because you guys know modularity is coming, and CIG's been working on that ship, and a lot of people are excited about that ship because it can do bombing, it can do cargo, it has a drop ship in it, it has living quarters in it. That ship is going to change dramatically. You can do that. Or if you're thinking about going to CitizenCon, or maybe you said, I'd go, but I don't know if I want to pay that much for the ticket. Well, now you don't have to pay for the ticket. All you got to do is get there. If you're in the UK, if you're somewhere in Europe, this might be, hey, this is the thing I needed to go. That's going to be there for you too. And you get to pick which one you want. Okay. So we're going to give you.
I think for this one specifically, maybe we should allow soldiers and people to allow to enter for this one. No? You're thinking?
Why do you put stuff out there like to embarrass me, so then I have to try and figure out how to answer a question like that?
You can say no, Griffin. I'll be the person for you. No.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
No.
Like I'm going to say no.
I didn't know you were going to say. All I see on the screen is Aegis Retaliator. I didn't know you were going to.
I just said what it was. I just said what the other thing was the tickets to CitizenCon. I just said that.
Bad fastcart.
Except Colossal. Prisoner says except Colossal. All right. I tell you what. Since they haven't been participating, and we normally don't let them in, we'll let them in this time around. Okay, because maybe they do want to go. And again, it's their option if they want to do that. Okay, but we will do this one and allow Soul Team. If you're out there, you guys can drop it in too. Okay. Thank you, Fastcart, for that. Putting me on the spot. Okay, so. All right.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yes. Anytime. Since we're celebrating our 200, we're celebrating our 200th, and without them, it would be rather boring. So we'll let them in on this one. Okay, gang. Here we go. We're getting ready to punch this in. We got 15 seconds. Exclamation point ticket. And again, you get to pick which one you prefer, whether you want the Retaliator bomber or whether you want the ticket to CitizenCon general admission. Not the premier ticket, general admission ticket. Okay. And we are down to 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay. And Meg, we're going to ask you, please, I'll ask Fastcart this time since he was the one who threw the wrench in the works. Fastcart, give us a countdown. Give us from 5 this time around. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Hit it.
Bandstand info. We've seen that name before. I know who that is. We've seen that name before. Are you there? Congratulations. Are you? Awesome. You said awesome. Woo! There you go. Awesome. Amazing. That's great. Congratulations. And once again, please let us know which gift you prefer. You're going to send it to soulcitizens@gmail.com. Make sure that you tell us your RSI handle, the email for RSI. Make sure you tell us that the name you just put up there so we know that it's you. And then also make sure that you tell us which premium gift you prefer, whether you prefer the Retaliator or whether you'd rather have the ticket to go to CitizenCon this year in Manchester, England. And yeah, that's it. So it went pretty good. Meg was like, God, please don't let them pick me because now I got to travel again. She's like, I got to travel again. But no, we hope that we get to see many of you guys over there. Some of us are going to try to go over for the event. And we're looking forward to seeing many of you guys over there. So, but even more, we want to thank you guys again for today. Again, you guys have been with us, and this is our 200th episode of our Sunday show. And you guys have been so supportive and done so much to keep us going and energized us. And we want to say thank you to everybody who has done that. Let's talk about what we have coming up. Fastcart.
I want to say thank you, Griffin, for allowing us to be here and organizing all of this for most of this for 4 years, 200 episodes of doing it. So
4 years, nobody knows. Okay,
right.
So let's talk about what we got coming up this week. Tell you what, let's let Meg talk about Thursday this time. Meg, tell him about Soul Talk.
Soul Talk is on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a roundtable discussion. Everyone is welcome. Everybody, join the Discord. Hop in on Thursday. We talk about what's going on in Star Citizen this week, and we cover things like Inside Star Citizen. And do we talk about Star Citizen Live?
Yeah,
that's on Friday, isn't it?
Yep.
Is it Thursday?
No. Well, they talk about it from the week before.
Mm-hmm. Okay, from the week before. Star Citizen Live. Y'all be sure to come in. Your voices can be heard. You can
have fun.
Ban fastcart's jokes.
No, we want people to come. Don't give them a reason not to come.
You can allow fastcart to joke. Yeah.
All right. FC, why don't you tell folks about Saturday, please?
Soul Voices, where you get to talk to the one, the only, the magnificent Griffin Gaming RPG about what's going on in Star Citizen that week. It's a one-on-one conversation. He typically covers stuff from Reddit, stuff from Spectrum, and something from the industry in general, or he just goes off his own and have a great conversation about what's something related to Star Citizen or Squad 42. That is Soul Voices at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. That's part of part of podcast, a Pod Saturday. We'll be joined by the After Pub and Relay Station for a whole day of podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Awesome sauce. Next Sunday, we are doing a show called The Content of Your Character. Many of you guys know that the character creator is really been exciting. Many of the backers who've had a chance to monkey around with it. Have you monkeyed around with it there, Meg? Made your character? Have you finally found the face you want, or are you still tweaking with it?
Honestly, I've been using other people's.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people have been sharing theirs on Twitter and on Reddit.
Oh.
There's a website that somebody made today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they made it today, but they're, I've just been using a lot of other people's, just been supporting them around. I suck.
Make sure you put the link in Star Citizen Resource on Discord for us.
Yeah, I will right now.
Mm-hmm. FC, have you had a chance to see the character creator since it's come out?
I've been watching all the other people doing it, and people seem to be having fun with it. I'm looking forward to live. I'm going to spend maybe 4-6 hours, maybe 8 hours.
Okay.
It'll be an adventure.
Yeah. It takes a little bit to get used to it, but it is intuitive. It's just different. And when you get in, you start to realize where things are. The first time I did it, I lost my character. I came back in the next time, even though I had saved it and everything, but I came back the next time and imported it right in, and boom, it came back. And it was like, this is very cool. Very, very cool. I'm going to do a little bit more tweaking because now I'm going to go back, and each time you do it, you learn a little bit more, and get to doing it. Mm-hmm. But some people have been making some dynamic, to Meg's point, making some really, really cool stuff. We've seen some lookalikes of Jared out there and some other stuff, which has been pretty cool. So,
question: do you think like having a design education would help you out in making a better character? Or
part of our show next week is we're going to be asking everybody from our team to come on and show off what they've done, and we're going to be talking about that. Okay,
I'm glad I'm not on there, then.
That's going to be part of the show for next week. And again, so that's going to be our show next week. The content of our character. Don't judge me by my skin, but for the content of my character. Well, I'm judging y'all because some of y'all got some ugly characters out there. So I'm telling you that now. Okay. So next week, that'll be our show content of your character. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that. Okay. Other than that, that is about it. We have wrapped up for the day. We want to say special shout out to everybody again. All the love, all the people who are here, those who won today. Congratulations. Don't forget to send your stuff to soulcitizens@gmail.com. Don't forget to put your RSA email. Don't forget to tell us who you are. Don't tell us what you won. We'll make sure that you guys get that stuff tonight. It'll be in your mail for tomorrow morning. And to those who subscribed, those who followed, those who sent us bits, those who, everything you guys did today. Thank you for helping us celebrate our 200th episode for our Sunday show. We really, really, truly, truly appreciate that. We are getting ready to send you guys over to another friend of ours, LeafX. Haven't sent anything over to him in a little while. See him on tonight. When you guys get over there with Leaf, let him know that you came over from the Soul Citizens. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We don't talk about that enough, but we really would love to see more of you guys like and subscribe to us on Twitter and
Patreon.
Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, everything. Please give us the follows. We really appreciate that. Fathom, thank you so much for that sub, that Prime sub, Amazon. We appreciate that. We appreciate it. And other than that, to my co-hosts, Meg, FC, as always, love you both. Thank you guys for being here today, sharing all your knowledge. And until then, gang, we'll see you later. Peace, love, and soul. Take care. Have a great week. Be safe. Ciao.
07.